Here we go. Well, yeah, bring Greg in. We got to do that. And we got the video live. Welcome, everyone. Okay, I know it's not the usual energy and I'm not screaming, and that's okay, because you know what? Today's a little bit more chill. If this happens to be your first video here on the Dicefunctional channel,
you've chosen the worst time to jump in.
Now recording.
The worst. Kind of because this is the wrap up of the first campaign, the official end, where we will go over some important things and events of the crazy British men who keep jumping into our voice channel. No, the story of Fortune's Blade, while it's still continuing in real time in campaign 2, which will be coming soon, and there will be all sorts of announcements if you want to check those out. Make sure to follow the socials at Dicefunctional with an underscore at the end. I'm not plugging my own here. Or you can check us out online. You can check us out on Twitch, twitch.tv/Dicefunctional, or on YouTube. Just search Dicefunctional over there. I know I said I wasn't gonna plug this stuff, but it's ingrained. It's burned into me as a person. Anyway,
it's fine.
I gotta show my friends. It's how that works. So be sure to keep a lookout there, because campaign 2, which takes place, Connor, what, 30 years after?
About 30 years after the events of campaign 1.
Yeah. So if you enjoyed this story, or if you want to check out this story and see all the events that have brought us to this point, knowing a little bit about some of the end of the Tale of Fortune's Blade, be sure to check out all of the previous episodes on YouTube, or if you are listening to this on podcast services, wherever they may be on the Dicefunctional feed. Maybe this will give you a good incentive to go back through all 150, but it's more than 153, because we had a part 1 and a part 2 on one of them.
You're right, so technically it'd be like 156, I think.
Yeah, there's a lot. But we enjoy playing this, so hopefully you enjoy listening to this and watching this. But I'm not going to do any not right now. But Connor, bring us into what we're doing today.
So, Jace kind of more or less hit the nail on the head. This is going to be a bit of a weirder session. Effectively, I'm going to be talking with me and my friends here, and we're going to be discussing essentially what is going to be happening, playing through certain scenes. And in some cases, if my friends just have questions, I'll just answer questions about what things were missed, or what could have been done, or answer any questions about the game in general. Also, I think I can hear a faint echo from Jolly.
I'm sorry. I don't know why it's
okay.
Echoing. Hang on. Okay. I don't know if it'll work, but
it's okay. So basically, are there any things that you guys want to ask right off the bat, or any things that you guys want to do immediately after your arrival back in Odela?
What is Avro's favorite sandwich?
That I don't really know. I don't think Avro is really much of a sandwich kind of guy.
Coward.
What's his favorite soup?
He's too French.
Favorite soup? French onion.
Too French.
That's so on the nose, Connor.
Fans out.
What's his favorite mother sauce?
His favorite mother sauce?
Yeah.
What about a mother? What?
Damn, I hate that you knew an answer immediately.
Yeah, of course I know the answer immediately. I like cooking.
For quick reference to our friends who do not cook regularly, the mother sauces are considered the base for every other sauce in culinary arts.
Bechamel is
because I was like, who the fuck is mother sauce?
like a roux?
Yes, a roux is technically also a mother sauce, but it's
the
really
5 that are listed. I had
it's
bechamel,
true.
Hollandaise, one that's just called tomato apparently.
Tomato sauce.
And I cannot pronounce the other two because they are very French.
You'd have to paste them for me to try, because I probably know about them in some level. But yeah. Are there any things that you or your characters want to do immediately after the end of campaign, after the end of the events? So after you guys have managed to beat Lacroix, after you guys have effectively come home, any big things you guys would like to do?
Well moved yet.
Have you guys moved yet?
The world, has it moved?
So, by that night, because you did arrive back in the morning, you guys would note, at least the more perceptive of you would pick up on the fact that the stars look a little different than they do normally. The sky doesn't, as there is still a large hole in the sky. It still looks the same kaleidoscopic mess of color. You would say there's maybe a slight difference in the angle and positioning of the mark in the sky, but really it's not a big difference.
Cool. Is it enough that people notice it, though?
Only the people who look at the sky. I mean, followers of Desna would definitely notice the difference in constellations. Normal folks might be able to look at it and just think that they're looking at the sky wrong, or they're missing something. Out of character, this is something that would be accepted or disputed or discussed heavily in scholarly journals in the years to come, as there was not a big enough shift and it went back to normal. So the people who think that the sky did change and that we moved position, the planet Genia moved position, they don't have proof because, well, it's normal now. It's a disputed piece of history by the time Campaign 2 comes around, because most normal people didn't notice the difference in the stars. And unless you were in Precretia, the sky didn't turn dark.
Interesting.
Is Houdini happy there?
Yeah. So I know Gale left immediately. Pretty much immediately.
Yep.
Promised he would come back in the morning and did. But Gale would probably would take a small group, would have been talking to Aerith about it, get a small group together, but, all fighters from Ekes, and would have cleared out the keep. Found it, would have cleared it out, and then in a central room, with pretty thick walls, with Haru, he would have obviously had Haru help him cast Sanctuary on the room itself for 30 days, making it permanent, and would have devised a number of other ways to essentially lock down that central room, effectively creating essentially a vault. And if you ever asked him what it was called, he would call it just the vault. An area where at first he would have kept he would keep the artifact of fear until he eventually finds whoever it is who's supposed to have said artifact. And he would keep the glove that the whole arm. He wouldn't take it off of the arm. The whole arm of Mercy, one of Mercy's brothers, would reside in there. For sentimental purposes, more than anything, he would leave the broken eye of Misfortune. I'm trying to think of some of the other...
There's the halberd.
Funny story about the halberd. But no, he would also put Armir's hammer in there.
Armir's axe. He had a hex axe.
Yes, well, he would have the axe and then the original hammer that he had, because Gale wasn't ever worried about. He just doesn't want that one getting out. The hammer had it out for him. But then after that was all completed, he would contact a certain Dimmadand.
Okay. That's, again, that would be a very good scene to play out. So, through a few tricks that you guys have at your disposal, and a few ideas that you've picked up over the years now, you reach out to and begin to speak with the Demodans that initially did appear to have a claim on a certain someone's soul. It does not appear to be actively pursuing Erudite, but the Demodand Capra would respond to your bartering, I suppose is the word.
Yep.
And we can play that out, but the question is, do you want to physically talk with the Demodand or no?
I think Gale would.
All right.
Yeah.
Where would you talk with the Demodand?
Essentially right on either side of a portal.
That's fair. Okay. So you would have to use essentially any tricks you have to cast a portal to open up a rift into Carcerai, which would be where Capra normally resides, and you would see that it is a hellish environment of these jutting spikes and stalactites that appear to just kind of rise up out of the soil itself, and where there is some order to most lower planes, Carcerai has very, very little, except for rule of strength, essentially. But you would be able to get a hold of Capra, who look at the portal and say very simply, "Well, it's very nice to see you again."
Greetings, friend. It has been a while.
Yeah. What is it?
So I'm looking to take care of a few things. Take care of my friends, take care of some people that I owe a bit.
And what would that be?
A death. How interested are you in expanding your territory?
Go on. Tell me more.
There's an archfiend. Decided it was a good idea to take my mum. Take my love from me and take a friend's mother in kind. He's talked about coming back here, and I owe him a bit of revenge. There'd be a bit of a power vacuum there. Thought you might want in. There are a few more details, but figured I'd at least see if you're interested or not.
What's in it for me, though?
You'll pull out the halberd. This. And my word, on my power, they'll not bring forces against you, so long as you, on your word, on your power, will not actively bring forces against this plane.
You have my word. I will not bring force against your plane.
And you have mine. Then in that case, 2 moons from now, have a force will move in, You show up, help in the fight. This is yours. And we walk away.
Very well. That sounds agreeable.
Good doing business with your friend.
Yeah. And you as well.
Gale will walk away, having the portal close. After such a time, Gale will immediately send a message out. Rest of Fortune's Blade. That was the deal that Gale made. We're going after the Dimmadand. Or not the Dimmadand, sorry, the Archfiend.
Pit Fiend, yep.
Pit Fiend, we have help. Grab anybody you can. We're taking his punk ass out.
Question about that. I have actually two questions.
Yep.
Number one, it's funny you mentioned the artifact, because that was going to be one of my things. Like, I would have probably, one of the things I would have done out of gate is probably contacted them. But that's fine. Number two, for that pit feed, how strong is are like Alice and their team?
They are fairly strong. Black Iron they're a fairly talented group. They'd probably be at most like level 11, 12.
Like, would it be too dangerous to bring them into?
Against a Pit Fiend.
Yeah. If
Most
we're all
likely,
there.
yes.
I mean, if we're all there too.
With everybody there, that's a little different, but still, there's not much stopping things from going a little bit wrong.
Yeah. I do have cleric levels now, but yeah. Okay. Okay. That's the thought. Go back. Sorry.
Okay. So, Gale, that is a deal that you would wind up making with the Demodand.
Yes.
All of you would receive a message about this, so how does everybody respond to this?
You're gonna go after the pit fiend?
I'm retired.
Oh.
They killed. To be fair, they killed,
To be fair, the way
Yeah.
that it's done, it is literally just a long form letter that's delivered by somebody. That's definitely, it's not Gale's handwriting, because Gale doesn't do the handwriting thing. It's definitely Aerith's handwriting. You can tell where certain things, like a word or two was being written and was changed to sound a little bit more elegant. But it's essentially, here's where we're meeting. There will be a portal opened. We are killing this fucking thing. If you would like to join 2 moons hence, this is where we're going. Bring any friends. It's like a party it's like a weird party invitation.
The worst kind of party invitation.
It's a party of violence. Somebody will die.
Saying yes without a doubt. Like, Rudy's going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Say that.
Oh yeah.
I think Deo would look at Maddie and be like, one last jig.
I mean, should we have my aunts involved in this?
Maybe Amelie is
I don't know if my mom wants to fight him again.
But like, think about it.
But she doesn't have her sword anymore!
It's broken.
Well,
What is she gonna do? Punch it?
She also doesn't have her armor.
yeah, I wonder why she doesn't have her armor, Mercy.
Did anyone else
Technically,
just
that
get
was
a
my
cold
fault.
chill?
I kind of let Mercy have it, but
We'll invite the aunties at least, I think.
I don't know if my mom would want to fight him. That's the thing.
He did take her away from you and Finn for 20 years. Kept her alive. Chained up. Cut her wings.
I mean, maybe I don't
Maybe
know
she
how.
blinked at the aunties.
I look. Maybe if we all see aunts, I don't know. Maybe I don't know if they probably have I don't know, extra weapons, like, I don't know.
We'll find weapons. We have.
I'm debating! I don't know.
We can ask.
Okay.
Think of the
Would
poetry.
Amelie?
What is it,
Think
Joe?
of
Poetry.
The poetry. Imagine, if you will, the pit fiend's dying. Last leg. He's like, ah, shit, you guys fucked me up. And then the poor girl from behind, Amelie fucking zooms in, kills his ass. Poetry. She just punches him to death with her big meaty claws.
What?
Big meaty claws. That's how that works.
SpongeBob reference. I'm
I
sorry.
know.
It is, but she's.
So, I will say, if you provide the offer to the aunties, they will take up the offer. Amelie will say no.
Okay.
Okay.
We're not gonna
I-
push it. If she says no, we're like, all right, you stay home.
I do intend to help out the aunties as much as I can with this, so I just also don't want them to get hurt as well, like my mom did.
Dea would even though she's retired now and is running the Blue Cloaks by this time, I think, she would come help just to make sure her friends are okay.
Yeah, this is about by this point, it would be about probably 4 or 5 months.
Yeah, 2-3 months.
Well,
think
well,
the
when we're
transition
going,
2 moons. Oh no, you're right.
yeah, it's 30 days to do the thing. It would have taken time to contact him, and then 2
Yeah, that
months
would've
after
been-
that.
Yeah, that would have been at least 3 months.
Yeah.
The gang's up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if Mercy helps, I'm assuming Mercy would help.
Yeah, Mercy's a little busy, but she would probably take the time. You have to understand, Mercy didn't immediately go over to start the Blue Cloaks when she went over there. She went over to do an entire political revolution.
Just take a break from that.
In the middle
Take a
of
little
something.
vacation. Are you busy?
I imagine at this point she's got a good chunk of that down. So she'll probably look at Belle and go, "You want to go kill a pit fiend?"
I think there's a bit more pressing matters over here. You realize?
Yeah. Damn it.
At least one of us needs to stay here.
Would you rather fight it, or do you want... Let me put it this way. Do you want to do diplomacy, or do you want to go fight?
I will stay here.
Okay. I will be back. Don't kill too many people while I'm gone. Don't kill anyone we need to sign a contract. Well, if I come back and you killed someone that we need to sign a contract, I'm going to throw you in the ocean.
No, you won't.
Oh my god.
But yeah, Mercy will come, but she will very much make it clear, I am here to kill the pit fiend, and then I gotta go.
Mercy has also aged 30 years in the past 5 months because of Belle.
Well, the thing is, there's Belle, and I have a feeling at some point she will hijack Jim, if some of them are being extra bitchy. Because what's more scary than a paladin who helped save the world, a level 20 barbarian, and a lich?
Pretty fucking
Girl
scary.
bosses. That's three girl bosses in name alone.
No, Jim is down gatekeep.
Sorry.
Somebody did not want to be picked up.
Houdini did not
I
like that.
touched her. I didn't even try. I pet her head and she said, "Gah!"
Oh no.
But yeah, on the day of, Gil would show up with himself, obviously. Any other of the Cerulean Blue Cloaks that had joined up at that point. Any number.
You would not have a huge number of people.
Oh, yeah.
Like just yet. You'd have like 2 or 3.
Yeah, we're talking like early. But again, all like war veterans and shit, they know how to handle themselves. Gale's not worried about that.
Yeah.
He would also show up with Roth in a temporary body. So temporary mech fighter. Also wearing a cerulean blue cloak hood. And a very feral, war painted up Aerith who looks like she's about ready to fucking murder somebody.
Yes.
Interestingly enough, of note, Roses
Mhm.
will not come with you.
Figured.
Instead, Roses appears to be heading slightly down south.
Okay.
Not very far, like really, like probably about maybe a half a day to a day's travel
Mhm.
at your speed, of course.
Yeah.
Like down to the south, to what remains of the small elven village that was there.
Yeah.
And he is essentially going to start living there.
Got it.
Bear in mind that elven village is pretty damn close to desolate right now.
Mm-hmm.
So he's effectively just doing the same thing he did with your home there.
Yeah.
Now,
Makes sense. Yeah.
but you all would wind up meeting up together to go deal with the pit fiend. And how that turns out, we will not go into because, well, that would be a good one shot. So we're not doing that right now.
Level 21.
That
means I'm
is,
actually gonna have to level Messy properly now on my sheet.
you may have to. There's an entire package of, like, there's an entire thing of archived characters right now, so don't worry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've already leveled up Rudy. It's dangerous.
So I'll have to actually build Aerith out too. Fuck yeah.
You may have to.
Oh yeah.
I can handle at least some of it, but yeah. you
Oh,
may
I
have to.
I got this. I already got the plan in my head.
Never a good sign.
Sorry, I was holding my breath to see how Houdini reacted.
Yep. It's very very important things.
Very tense.
Yeah, but then
It's
after
like
that
we were
is
biting you.
You went hungry.
Okay.
after that, like I mentioned, Gale is going to be off and on. Well, as far as like over the next period of time, not including anything else that Gale gets invited to or people want Gale to show up at. Big highlights for what Gale's doing post campaign include finding the essentially the child of fear and making sure that he knows who the fuck that is, because Gale's going to be intimately involved in that child's upbringing, watching them
So
very
Person, you little shit.
very closely.
So there are some very interesting things that would definitely come about from the aspects that begin to reemerge. First off, anyone who spends a majority of their time reading or looking into history would find that books are coming back into circulation that mention things in history that definitely you guys don't remember happening. So there are
Rudy
little
would notice
things that get put back into history, like the books to start reappearing. And also, people begin to be able to understand the fact that the aspects exist and the artifacts exist, which is different from how it was normally because you guys, remember, weren't able to remember them. You could not talk about them. People are able to start talking about them as it goes on.
Basically, this because the cycle took too long to restart. It all started.
Well, because so the cycle restarted, and this is something that you would be able to, like, again, this is kind of like background stuff. The elves who are responsible for all that stuff and acting as like the guardians or the teachers or what have you, or the aspects, they allow everybody else to start understanding what's happening again, and effectively lift the veil that was put over the artifacts themselves and the people.
Okay.
So the lack of understanding you guys had with the language and talking about them, that was just how the magical effect that was put on them were. They were not supposed to be understood. They're not supposed to be talked about, and that's why you guys couldn't discuss them. But with the cycle restarting, people are allowed to talk about it now.
Got it.
Also, they would be very not willing to let you, Gale, be involved in the child's upbringing.
Gale would absolutely kill any of them that tried to get in his way.
I definitely understand that.
It would not go well.
This is one of those things where it is very much a situation where they're like, we let the kid live this long as a normal kid.
Mm-hmm.
And at a certain point, we take them and they are taught what they are and how they're supposed to work.
Mm-hmm.
Leave the kid alone. And that's basically it. It's like, look, you have 10 years, leave the kid alone.
Yeah. Gale would not. He wouldn't spill the beans. There would be no spilling of the beans. Like, hey, you got like superpowers coming, kid. Be ready. You're a fucking wizard, Harry. It would be more like he would be keeping an eye on the kid very closely. So the moment that happens, Gale essentially is going to info dump on this fucking kid. Like, hey, this is what they're going to do. This is what this is. When you're done with whatever the fuck this is, contact me. I can help you. However, if you choose to not contact me, I will fucking find you.
Oh my god.
Gale, can you not threaten a child?
That's not how that works. Again, it would be... I would like to think that the way that Gale would approach kind of being around the kid is essentially he would essentially make his presence known. He would be that weird, like, it would be a Ben Kenobi type of thing. You would know of this weird, like, guy, because again, Gale can make himself look like anybody.
Yeah,
it would be
it's
this
more
weird
like you
guy.
keep cropping up, but you don't stay.
Yeah, this weird old dude that just like lives in the woods and just is like randomly around and shit like that and really likes deer. Would just be randomly around, and it's essentially like, hey, this is what you are. I know a lot about what this is. They're gonna keep stuff from you. Contact me when you're out.
Okay. That, I will keep that in mind for the future.
Yeah.
Dea and Maddie, we're going to save you for last.
I do have a couple scenes that would take place within a year, like before the wedding.
Okay.
Cause she, if you don't mind, cause I'm impatient. But then otherwise we can save like the rest for last. But she would want to like talk about a little bit about. This would probably happen within a month or two of coming back, because she would be like, you're planning on staying, right? Like, I want you to live here.
I'm not really much of a sailor anymore. I don't have a crew. I don't have a ship. So it's unlikely that I'll be leaving anytime soon.
Well, could have a family here.
That would be fine.
And I kind of imagine that, like, maybe, like, I don't know, Maddie's off in the kitchen, like, cooking. So she kind of thinks about it, and she's like, I know you mentioned before having a love of your life, but were you ever married?
Wait, are you asking me?
You
or
talk.
asking
No,
her?
it's to talk about.
Okay.
Like, I never worked up the courage to actually ask.
I was married, yes. Once upon a time. It was good. It was a pleasant marriage. And we were happy. But all things come to an end, eventually. It was no one's fault, but she eventually passed away, and that was it.
And that's why you went sailing?
Yes. It was easier to just stay away from the land. I saw too much of her and everything around me.
I guess she doesn't really have anything else to say about that. She just kind of...
Dear, I can't hear you from my box.
Maybe you should turn me on in Discord.
Now there's an echo.
Have you ever thought about that? She doesn't really have anything else to like say towards that. She's kind of offers comfort, I guess. And
I'm sure that one day you will find your own happiness. I'm sure of it. But I found her, and I don't think that I'll be moving on past her at any point.
I'm sure I will.
You'll just kind of put an arm around your shoulder and just kind of do the side hug thing.
Yeah.
Anything else aside from the big things?
Well, a few months after that is when she would go have the conversation I told you about.
That's a big thing.
Should that be later? Okay, we can say
Yes,
that.
that should be later.
Okay.
Anything even tangentially related to
Okay.
to
Sure.
the wedding should not be mentioned.
Okay. We'll do that later then.
Maddie.
Sorry, I mute myself because I don't know how the echo is happening, even though I lower my
I don't know.
head. I don't know. I'm sorry
on.
if you hear echo.
Ah! I don't hear anything. You're good.
It's probably gonna happen again.
No, you're fine.
I don't necessarily know. She's kind of well, I mean she would stay probably in the bakery for a little bit because she's been homesick lately. I think when the pit fiend mission happened, this is my weird question, like would there have been any Asimars at the time that have been captured, similar to Bieren's case?
So there would not be any more Asimar that were captured like Bieren. Why do you hate Bieren so much?
I can't put into words why I hate him. It's just something deep and visceral in my body that hates him so much.
Do you hate
I don't know if it's me
golden
or Ro.
retrievers?
No, because he's not one. He's an annoying little man. I love dogs. Don't
No,
compare
he's
him
an
to a
annoying,
dog.
handsome man. He's annoying because he's dumb.
He's dumb as fuck, and that's coming from 7 intelligence. You know you fucked up.
He's only one below you.
That's too low. I'm the limit. Everyone else? No.
So, in the, I would say, actually no, I'll take back what I said. I would say, for right now, we'll leave that up in the air.
Okay, right. Okay.
Yeah.
I just like to essentially think that was the reason why that happened would be the organization that I mentioned a while to you about.
Yes.
So
Maddie wanted to start working on an organization for Asimar,
mm-hmm.
which, if I recall correctly, attended. We eventually kind of came up with the name Host of Asimars, Ensuring Vigilance Against Neglect, or Haven.
It's a good name.
I like it.
Yeah.
So would that become like Maddie's hobby, or is this like the thing that Maddie starts working on for a good chunk of her life?
I feel like it would be a good chunk, to be honest.
Okay.
I mean, because that she mostly kind of stays at the Lucky Sapphire to like cook. This is something to keep her occupied, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So, at the very least, it won't like have her feel disconnected with her family as much. So,
Gotcha. So that would effectively become your Maddie's passion project.
yes.
To create organizations and smaller branch organizations that are effectively helping Asimar and other Asimar learn who they are and who they came from, to help make sure they cannot be taken advantage of by other beings.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair. All right. Is there anything else that Maddie would start to work on?
Mm-hmm. No, I think that's about it. She's just staying either at home or work at the Lucky Sapphire occasionally. But yeah, that's about it.
All right. Erudite.
Hello.
What would Erudite start to work on towards the very beginning of their retirement?
So the first thing she would do is she would find somebody who's good with words, like a bard or something, who's like a good writer. And she would collaborate with them on basically essentially like the Adventures of Fortune's Blade. She can't write for shit, or she can write, but she's a technical writer. It wouldn't be very good. So she would hire someone so that she could like tell them to, and she would make certain changes. I was going to initially say that she doesn't mention the artifact stuff at all, but if they're like letting it be out there, if she notices that, then she would probably include that in her book. To a certain extent.
When Erudite contacts a different bard, Ro, how do you react?
Bro, is not a wordy bard.
Bro kind of like sees it happening and is like venturing with somebody for years, and then all of a sudden, oh, I'm not good enough.
Bro's not a writer.
You know, I can be whatever I need to be, but
I mean,
sorry.
if she sees that, she would ask Ro to help.
Ro would immediately be like, oh no, I can't write for shit. But I would have liked to have been asked. You know, you travel around with a bard for all these years. All of a sudden, you're all talking to some other bard?
I just
you bring them into our home?
I'm sorry, Ro.
Can't believe you.
I'm sorry.
Ro looks at the other bard, is like, home wrecker, and walks. He writes it down.
I make Ro sound really awesome. I make Ro
Ryder
sound...
is 6 feet tall. She was 7 feet tall. The tallest of us all.
I will say the very notable change, because she won't even tell this to, like, the actual name to... the very notable change she makes is Haru's name changes to something else. Because she's not stupid. Obviously things are obviously shifted around in terms of like importance and whatnot. But she tries to be fairly truthful. Jesus Christ, Connor.
Sorry.
She tries to be very truthful, obviously, but she protects people who needs to be protected and whatnot. But yeah, if she notices that the artifacts are being like able to be talked about, she will include that in her story as well. Because it's a big part of her story specifically, so like it makes sense to include it. She was not gonna include it initially because you couldn't talk about it, but now you can, so hey.
Gotcha.
That's like her very first thing. I'm gonna point out, there is a period every month that everyone knows about. For about 4 days, she does not seem to sleep. She does not seem to do anything but work. Like, there's no sleeping or whatever, because she uses the magic coffee, and then at one point she uses the necklace to sleep, and then she comes back and uses the magic coffee again. So it's just a 4-page work. To everyone else, it looks like she's just doing straight work for like 96 straight hours. She is getting sleep in there, just no one realizes it.
So past the book, what else would Erudite begin to work on?
After that, she is going to start the process of her schools. It would be called the Osteroth Academy of Learning. And she would start off in Odela, probably. I mean, most definitely, obviously. Probably somewhere in Sursane if she can convince the governor to let her have that.
It would not take very much in the way of convincing to get Governor Kirik to permit you to have an actual school in Sursane itself. There's really no convincing, and honestly, Sursane's a lot more lenient when it comes to schooling and other places of education. Now, the big question for me, which I don't think I ever got a definitive answer on, is this going to be magic schooling or is it just schooling?
It would be magic schooling where it would be permitted. If it's not permitted to have magic schooling, it would just be regular.
Okay.
She would adjust it to where if a place does not want magic schooling, she will not have magic schooling in there.
Okay. So that'll actually make other locations a lot easier to have them be present. I will say there are still at a certain point. Yes, Jace?
Question. Do they have a very interesting and select exchange program with other schools on other continents?
So I would imagine an exchange program could be entirely done. The problem immediately arises in any of the locations where they're like, no, you don't get to teach magic. Because Erudite, first off, the presence of multiple schools would not be an issue initially. But as the years go on, the world starts to change, and eventually people are able to send messages to each other pretty quickly, in some cases without magic. And that's it's simultaneously really great, and reporting has become amazing, but there's also an issue. Your school is known. They know about the Osteroth school, which means they know that in some places they're teaching magic there. So the places where they don't want you teaching magic, there's immediately the question of, how do we know that you're not going to still teach magic, even though we say don't do it? So, while certain locations, actually Tioge for one, they will be okay with you doing just pure education. They would not care. There are some locations, though, where they have a bit more of a grip on the teaching of magic, or have a bit more of a staunch view against magic, where, to be honest, they don't even let you have a normal school. Because they are so worried that you are going to still teach magic even though you say you won't.
Where would that be specifically?
There are sections of Bakrisha where it's not allowed.
Okay.
There are specific sections of Alwax where it's not allowed.
I will say.
Yep.
Her goal is to literally just have one on each continent. So if it's limited to certain spots, she would just avoid those spots.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. So like you would ultimately be able to get at least a school
Mhm.
or a academy on each continent, definitely. But there are some spots where you can't put it anywhere near it at all.
That is fair and valid. And I mean, I will say, the thing she brought up with her level 20, like when she went up to level 20, is I did bring up her charisma up by 2. So she is better at talking to people now
That's
than
good.
she used to be. Like, her charisma's a 16 now and started
Oh,
as
that's
a
good.
15.
It's actually
Yeah.
pretty decent.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
she
in
learned,
the case of
she
in the
asked
case
Ro
of
for help in talking to people. Like, literally.
in the case of schooling, yeah, it's you're okay up until a certain point, in which case you would actually probably see a few of your schools get closed down
Okay. That's
because
fine.
they were in spots where they eventually learned this school also teaches magic in other places, and they would either shutter your school or burn the school down.
Okay, that would hurt her a little bit.
Yeah, I figured it would, but I have to
It would
bring it up.
hurt.
It's a
that's
possibility in
fair.
some locations.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay.
Woolridge is a little weird about your school.
Actually, if she was gonna have a school in the south, it would be closer to Veilcrest, to be fair.
That's fair, but I mean, like Woolridge, you don't get as many kids from Woolridge, really.
That's valid.
It's they're a little weird about it, but a lot of them do talk about Roe when they do come from Woolridge. Aside from the schools themselves, though. By the way, yes, Jace. Exchange programs are completely doable.
Mm-hmm.
A lot easier on the schools that have magic, though.
Yep.
Because then you can just have a portal.
Yep.
I
I actually was more for the idea of smuggling magically gifted kids out of awful countries that don't allow them to practice it and getting them to places where they can.
And that would definitely become some kind of a rumor in those schools, that they're involved in some practices where
Rudy would
children
definitely allow that.
disappear. And it's definitely a double-edged sword. I will tell you this.
That's fair.
On one hand, it brings up the image to people who are in the know that you are there to help and you're there to get people out of bad situations. But when people don't know, they see you as witches and wizards and warlocks that are stealing children.
Mm-hmm.
So the Ostroth schools definitely do get an interesting reputation, depending on where they are.
I love that. Actually.
Yeah, me too.
That's
kind of how I wanted to handle. By the way, that's kind of how I wanted to handle this session for things like this.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk it out between all of us because I know for a fact that we can kind of come up with some pretty great ideas.
Yeah.
So that's why I was
Yeah.
cool with that.
So the other thing,
Yep.
because you meant a couple things. The other thing I wanted to do was, you mentioned this, was essentially start a cult.
Yeah. So there was another thing.
It's gonna be a big
Your deity, which for a heads up, campaign 2, the deities are going to be going by different names. The deity that Erudite is responsible for or worships, or Ozagamond. Kind of
What was Amazanom?
Amazanom, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, I used to use the name of an enemy you guys haven't fought in years. I just realized.
that was-
Ozagamond, that was
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think I put that at top
that was
of your
the enemy
mind
from
when I
back on
updated.
Danos.
Yeah.
I updated Dea's warlock scars that
Yeah.
I showed you, and I was like, and that's Azugama.
Yeah,
It's
it's like
last
Amazanom.
week.
Amazanom, I apologize.
It's okay.
Nom.
Phenomena.
So,
Do-do-do-do-do.
all right, thanks, guys. Since Amazanom is not a present deity, like the new deities who have shown up, we'll get into that. Or doesn't seem to be a present deity, and is historically a deity that stopped existing. The religion's prevalence is not as big, which means by all definitions, the followers of Amazanom and the churches of Amazanom are technically cults.
a cult?
Because the
Kool-Aid parties
definition
for
of a
everybody.
cult is something that is not widely worshipped and is different from the norm.
Yep.
So by all means, that's a cult. But it would start to spread. Yes.
Can I make an addition to that? Because I wanted to do. You'll see what I'm going for when I say this. Is I wanted to also attach like archives to the churches.
Not the
like libraries?
schools?
I want to do it to the
So-
schools too, but I feel like it would be harder to do it with the schools because of the like whole
reputation.
magic and not magic
Okay.
thing and all that. Yeah.
So
And
I could.
it's-
So it's less of a cult then, and
It's-
more of like an
it's-
organization
It's
that has a
but the
cult
thing
attached
is,
to it.
Well, that's the thing. You still have a religious aspect to it, which means it's a cult, but they're a cult that is definitely still storing information.
Okay.
They're
Which
a
is a-
cult.
It's simultaneously a good and bad thing.
It's like
So
the it's almost like a cobalt soul
that's
type
what
of
I
thing,
was
but they have a
actually
deity.
going for.
Okay, yeah.
That's actually what
Yeah.
I was going for.
Which is
Thank you,
which
James.
is
Yeah,
very
gotcha.
it's a very interesting idea, and I will say that there will definitely be archives, but they're associated with your religion more than anything.
Right.
But also, as with any place like that, you realize very quickly you have to limit who could go in there.
Uh-huh.
You realize that almost immediately because books disappear.
Yeah, Rudy would know that without like even like realizing that, because that's just like she knows what she would do if she was given to access to a library like that. So like she would probably
Yeah,
it
so-
would definitely be limited to like people, and yeah, it's literally like it's Cobalt Soul vibes was what I was going for.
So these archives of the cult of Amazonom will appear in a few locations, and they are very much you don't get to come in unless we say you get to come in.
Mm-hmm.
In some cases, it would require some kind of a I don't know if the word is like profferage or like a donation. Like you would
Donation
have to
would
give
probably-
money in some
Mhm.
cases to enter. In others, you outright need to prove it. You need to be like you either need to be a worshiper, or
Go through
You
like
gotta-
an interview process.
you gotta like yes, you have to have an interview process, or you need to outright do something for us before you even consider letting you. So there is definitely a bit of a closed door policy to these archives, but they do wind up storing quite a bit of information, especially over only a period of about 30 years, with the assistance of a semi-there deity as your following begins to grow in size. Finding older information becomes more of a possibility.
Curiosity, Cotter, since there are more followers and stuff, does my necklace become any more powerful?
So the power of the necklace itself would change, definitely. The biggest thing is the amount of time that you can kind of start to hold on to in the necklace starts to rise. It starts to get more and more and more and more and more. Eventually, you have nearly, like by the time we hit 30 years from now, you'd be able to store about a week.
That's dangerous for Rudy.
It's
Fuck.
extremely dangerous, but the recharge time never changes.
It's always a month, but that's
It's
fine.
always a month.
But she
It's
has
always
like
a month, but it
she
means
has
that you
like-
have about a week
free
that you
week.
can start and stop at will. But it also means that this is an extremely, extremely powerful object that come your death, there's one or two things that's going to happen to that thing.
It's going in the vault.
It's either going in Gale's vault or
No, it's
someone's
going-
stealing it immediately.
Rudy would probably, once she knows about Gale's vault, she would like work out a plan with Gale, because yeah.
Everybody knows about the vault.
Yeah,
Gale is
she will
not
work out
secretive to
something.
Fortune's Blade about the vault, and is essentially also going, hey, help me collect this shit. And it's a thing about the vault, and this is kind of a known thing. It's not about keeping it out of the hands forever, because nothing's ever going to be able to stay there forever. It's more
It's
about
just-
the idea of there's no more having two apocalyptic events happening at the same time. We're not fucking doing that again. And it's about knowing that these things exist, and when one of them goes missing,
We know this is
what
happening.
to look for and stop it before it gets really fucking bad.
Ro or Jill.
I was like, me? So I have a question about Rudy's necklace. So it can store like at the end it has like a week of time you can freeze.
Yep.
Do you have to use in like one continuous burst, or can you use like a week over?
You have to do it in 8-hour periods.
Okay.
So like you can like at least 8-hour periods. At least. So you can stop it for a day, but there's no such thing as stopping it during a fight really briefly and then restarting after like a round. That's not something you can do with it.
Yeah, I was just making sure it wasn't like every time you use it, you have to freeze time for a week. You're stuck in there, bud. You got a week in there.
Fun fact. With that, when that starts, like when it gets to that point, it's like Rudy never sleeps. It looks like, because there comes a point where it looks like Rudy just basically never sleeps, because there's like 7 days where she can just like, it's like there's like 28-day period, so there's like 2 days that she sleeps. The rest of the time, it does not look like she sleeps.
So there'd be about 21 rest periods that you could store in that thing by the end of it. So there would be maybe a week in a month where you're like, oh, she's sleeping.
She has the
magic.
magic.
Oh, yeah, the coffee too.
Yeah, with the coffee.
It's not. It ain't. I'll also point out, it's not the coffee is magic. It's the container.
Yeah, no, but the coffee also, you can stay up an extra 8 hours.
Yes, but it's not magic. It's just really strong coffee.
But she uses the coffee, like she makes her time all like so she can like get away with like.
She's got a spreadsheet to keep track of her time.
Yeah, basically.
She does.
So yeah, by the end of it, like, you just don't sleep.
I sleep. I just don't sleep.
Visibly.
I sleep, but no one knows I sleep. The last thing is like she's very much a traveler, so like she'll like keep eyes over schools and stuff, so she travels a lot. But like she still stays with Alice. They don't get married. Marriage is not in the cards unless Alice wants it. Rudy does not care. And I don't think Alice wants it.
Marriage is not really something that Alice doesn't like, but it's not something that she actively pursues.
Yeah, but she stays with Alice.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot that.
I just heard Jace mumble.
Yeah, in the next 30 years, yeah, Gale and Earth do get bound. It would be
married.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
We're predicting this at the wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rudy. Yeah, she's not a marrying type. She might adopt a kid. I haven't decided. I feel like she does, but like it happens like when she's like in her mid 30s to early 40s.
When she's experienced the joy of children from one of her other teammates, she's like,
yeah.
Huh.
She does it, and it's like, and it's not a baby. It's
Joy.
It's not a baby. I will say,
kids are gross.
You know how we expect that one thing we're like smuggling the magically gifted kids?
Oh yeah.
It's one of those kids that's like an orphan. She adopts, it's like 8 to 10. That's what she does.
Like a rowdy 16-year-old who's ready to throw down at all times. Like, you're my kid now. Am I?
It is not a stigmata. It is a stigma. Stigmata is the
Oh, right. Stigmata is the hole through the hand. Sorry. Stigma. No. I apologize.
It was like you have to have a stigmata
it's one
to
of
get
those
in.
words where like my brain mixes it up in my head.
I saw it and I had to say something.
Hold on, let me correct myself.
But yeah.
Types out has holes in the hands, just for clarity.
That's how you know they're a part of the school. They have fucking stigmata.
But yeah, that's everything.
Welcome to the rest of your life.
Stigmata. That's everything with Rudy, actually. That was the last of it. Yeah. And she also makes spells for her friends, which I will at some point make before the next campaign, because they will also be like released into the world. So that you can that's why I will make them with Connor, so that he approves of the spells. So.
Yeah.
I think you should make some of them ritual spells. No reason.
Oh, there will be some ritual spells.
There are almost certainly going to be a few ritual spells, actually.
Because Rudy does like specialize in like ritual shit too.
Yeah.
Remember that.
Bro.
For the last time, I wasn't expecting it to go around to get to me.
It's going to.
Again?
This works.
Surprise.
Don't worry, Jill. It'll happen again and again and again.
That's a lot of commitment. I can't keep doing this. We gotta get rid of turn order completely.
Right, baby, right.
Okay. I'm trying to think. I have a list of things that I wrote down because I'm a psychopath.
Go ahead.
Oh, that's fair.
So, I mean, like, the first things first that I don't need to play out is, like, Ro and Demos vibing. At some point, and again, don't need to play out, there's an arm wrestling rematch at some point. At some point. I don't know when, how, why, where, who wins.
The wedding. That's how you decide whose last name you take.
It's fair. Okay, and then this is the first big one. At some point, after everything calms down, probably, I don't know how long this would be, I have no concept of time. Ro gets in contact with Barrett, and, like, goes back to, like, Warridge and is, like, trying to figure out how to get him help. Because, like, Mans is fucked. It's just kind of like I don't blame you, you're good, we're gonna find you therapy or something, I don't know, I'll pay for it. She at some point tracks her mom down.
Another one shot, great.
Yeah. I won't read the rest of my thing then, though, because
I'm gonna kill my mom.
Actually, in italics, I do have doesn't actually kill her mother. So we'll see about that. Also, the hag. Ro wants to hunt down the hag.
The hag is also a problem. So Ro, it turns out, actually has a few unsettled debts.
Yeah. Thankfully,
yeah,
Ro
Jolly
has a very long life.
There was a hag. Oh, there's also the Prince in Chains that's still present somewhere on Elysium.
Yeah.
Shot.
That's gotta
we
get
got 4,
handled.
baby.
We got 4 combat one shots. Let's fucking go.
Yeah, that's great. Perfect. So yeah, Ro, first off, in regards to Barrett, so therapy and mental well-being is beginning to become more of a thing that gets dealt with. So you likely would be still somewhat aware of the director of the Hierophant Asylum, who is both the man who, you know, it's where some of the folks from the Blue Cloaks get sent. It's also where a certain changeling was sent, if you guys don't recall. The ideas behind mental wellness and therapy kind of start to change a little bit more, and they will change noticeably over the next 30 years. The biggest thing is there are more ideas, and the director will kind of start to become the lead, at least here on Insane, of the ideas on proper therapy. Especially for individuals like Barrett, who would be categorized as he has post-traumatic stress disorder. He has post-traumatic stress disorder because essentially due to magical circumstances. And it's a lot of talking and a lot of working their way through problems that they have, but it's not as simple as casting a spell. That's the most interesting thing that's come up through the presence of psychology in the world now. You can heal magical damage, but mental damage doesn't go away as easily. Even spells that inflict some kind of an insanity or a madness, that's fine. You can get rid of that. You can't get rid of the impact it had.
Ro with the Barrett situation, she would kind of like behind the scenes have a foot in every door being like, y'all aren't gonna like electrocute his brain, are you? Because that would be fucked. That's stupid. Why would you do that? That doesn't make any sense. Like, just kind of be like, maybe he should try talking about it, and then Ro has the revelation of like, maybe wait a minute, do I need therapy?
Yeah. And in fairness to the director of Hairfact, he has a pretty not lenient but progressive thought on the matter, and you'd actually start to see that less people who are more so just a little off are allowed into the asylum, because you had a feeling that his father and his grandfather before him, they had to allow in people who were just weird or didn't fit in or just normal women, like unfortunately did happen in reality. And you see the new director, he's kind of like ushering them out, making sure they don't come in, because it's just not necessary. There are some people who would need help, but if it's just someone who's a little different, it's just a matter of getting people to understand them. In which case, he offers services of, smaller therapies, but nothing that requires permanent residence.
Ro at some point does get therapy, but that's neither here nor there.
That's good. They really need it.
One shot.
The therapy one shot. Perfect.
It's a group therapy one shot.
It's a group.
There is sand involved.
There's an old Silent Hill protagonist go to therapy video from like way back in the internet days, and it just made
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. Fucking James, my favorite holiday is Tuesday. The therapist's like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
About?
Tuna juice tastes delicious. She's like, oh, okay, get the fuck out. There's no helping you, sir. Fucking James. Terrible human being.
Looking at my list and seeing what's important and what's just me, like, I'm gonna write everything down.
So I will say, there is one thing that definitely does happen. I'd say probably a few years after Ro retires, and no longer this is after the one shots. The gun disappears.
Lost 2 guns. I got a daughter out of way.
Actually, I will say more accurately, it is stolen. Someone breaks into Ro's house and the gun is stolen.
Another one shot.
Calling up
Ro
Detective Daya.
Ro has a literal pinboard of who the fuck could have broken into my house? Who did this?
So who in campaign 2 has it?
Who's my gun?
I can't tell you.
Jesus, if someone in campaign 2 has that,
I cannot tell you that information.
Oh, someone has that gun. Someone has that gun. Fuck. We have to fight someone with that gun. Oh shit.
Down.
I don't know how well that won't go well for him, knowing what I know of the campaign 2 crew, and that's not a whole lot.
I'm not gonna lie, I probably know the most out of everyone in this group. It will go very badly.
They'll get lit the fuck up.
I'm mad on Bro's behalf.
Sorry. I know it has to happen at some point. It does get stolen.
That's in the chat, guys.
F's in the chat.
F's in the chat for whoever stole it, because you know that the slug assassin or the snail assassin meme? That's Ro, except she moves at normal speed.
No, she doesn't.
She's following you.
She's 5 feet less than normal.
Yeah. Well, normal halfling speed.
But she has persistence.
She has.
She also has a dragon.
It's a dragon.
Listen. Sometimes you have to be independent. I can do this.
Just the image of Demos going,
wife for a little bit.
do you want me to help you find it? No.
No.
I can do this myself.
I have
Walk
to do
10
this.
feet out the door. It's so hot outside. I want to go.
Actually, that does lead to the question: where do you set up? Because like everyone else so far, we kind
I
of
think
know.
I asked you that.
Yeah. I think in my mind's eye, I see Ro in like a little nice little cottage / cabin on like a high like cliffside, just because it's really idyllic and really nice. It's what she deserves.
And a good sniper's roost.
Uh-huh. I gotta be able to see from above. I can see everything. That's an unintentional thing that Ro does. It's like, I just wanted to be high up. Why did I want...
It was literally a cat.
Fuck. This was for dominance. Shit.
I have the high ground.
You gotta have it.
Gotta have the high ground.
But I don't know. Probably somewhere near Warridge. Not like in Warridge proper, because... Yuck. Who wants to move back to their hometown. So somewhere in the zone. No! Listen, my home... Well, would I move? No. Well, no.
Well,
Well, no.
I
Yeah,
raised
somewhere
my
around
hand.
Warridge.
But
I don't know,
you're in prime visiting zone of the estate.
That reminds me, Connor. No, I'm sorry, Joe. I just wanted to ask really quick, because of Warridge and that reminds me. Aterius, is that facility still there?
Nope.
Cool.
Nope. Building of the facility stopped pretty quickly after, everything that happened in Vermune.
Fun fact, that's where Rudy's first school is.
No.
taking over the side of the
I'll
old
take this.
facility.
It's mine now.
So there's already half a building there. You just
Exactly.
Well,
it's
if nobody's using it.
You
It's
may
mine
need to
now.
completely rebuild the foundation
Oh yeah.
because there
that's
is
fine.
no way that thing is structurally sound anymore.
It's a symbolic thing. It's fine.
There's still a vault in there.
I'm talking about like the slab that thing was like built on is there. That is not stable.
No, there was an explosion. It's not safe.
Yeah.
But there's still a vault down there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a symbolic thing. It's fine. Anyway, continue, Joe. I'm sorry.
Long-term Row Gardens. She has a vegetable garden. I thought about that. That's written down. That was important enough for me to write down.
Gardening tips
Oh.
from Aerith.
Yeah. Mechanically, how much would it cost for Ro to get a tattoo for Arcane Tunnel?
God, that's gonna be expensive.
I'm just curious, just
Yeah,
for
hold on.
I'm-
hypothetically.
I'd say, God, that's gonna be expensive. Also, you know that you can afford it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like, Connor, you're literally
Also a
talking to a character who literally has unlimited money.
Yeah,
And a gold dragon husband who can
Yeah.
find.
you can afford this.
Yeah.
I can afford it.
The cost
traveling
of how many uses per day?
I kind of settled on like, is 3 too many or not enough?
It's up to you. I don't care.
I like 3, just because you
Okay.
can get in, get out, and stop at the gas station for the third one.
Mm-hmm.
my
Would you
brain
also
works.
want a dispel tattoo so that way you can
Ooh, a dispel tattoo with also 3
3 charges? Just in case you make an oopsie.
3.
The
I will
spell
say
is also
three.
4th level spell, right?
You can make it 4th level. It's a 3rd level. You
It's
have
a
to
third
make
level
it 4th
spell.
level.
Okay.
You would have to
I
make
know
it a 4th
all about
level.
spells.
You would have to
I
make
know
it 4th
every
level though, because otherwise Ro would be rolling literally every time.
Yes, it's true.
So you don't want to be rolling
that
for this
case-
shit.
The flat cost of the tattoos, it's like 12. It's like 12,000 gold.
Oh, only? Okay.
Why do I bother?
You've created a monster in this game.
I know. Bear in mind, every time you cast the spell, you do have to give up money.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
I'll break your fucking kneecaps.
It's too late. The game's over.
Nico.
I don't have knees anymore.
You?
I
No,
lost
you,
them.
Jill, you have knees.
No. Mm-mm. I gave them away. Yeah.
This is a
I don't know
threat.
what this means. I was like, I don't know what this exchange
It
is
hasn't been
happening right here,
established
but
in
sure.
game yet.
I think he's gonna vacuum seal your kneecaps.
I'm gonna vacuum seal your kneecaps.
If you can find them. I don't have them.
Would it be-
God.
So, what else would Ro do?
She just makes sure her dad is like set up wherever he wants to be, whether that be in Warridge or like wherever.
Yeah. So I will say, of note, your father would absolutely like pop by at least every other day to talk to you, as you are his daughter, and Opus would pop by occasionally. It's more so like monthly in the case of Opus, because Opus does a lot of traveling. Pop by to speak with you and essentially just talk and relax. And every time you bring up the idea of being their mother, they will immediately tell you no.
Ro does introduce Opus to her dad as, this is your granddaughter.
No.
It is, it's true.
And the problem is that your father immediately goes along with the joke, and Opus keeps going against the joke.
It's not a joke, it's real life. This is real life.
Yes, Joe.
It's just fantasy.
I want to point out something, Jill. You
Yeah.
said you put your house on the top of a hill.
Like a mountain cliff.
You're gonna make your old father climb a hill.
Listen, the first time he goes, Ro's like, do you arcane tunnels him up to the just
Buy him a
fucking
horse.
guess. No.
Buy him an automatic carriage. An autonomous carriage.
We could call it a car.
I know some people who
Yeah.
might be able to help with that.
Shut up.
Getting hints.
I was honestly about to make a joke about like an automated like rickshaw that just travels up the mountain.
The ski lift.
It's ski lift.
No, even better. It's a rickshaw done by an automaton that looks almost exactly like Opus. It's like Opus's brother that's running the rickshaw everywhere. It's
We
all
will
in the
settle on
family.
something simple
It's-
like either a horse.
No, this is more complicated.
But yes, your father
Four
will
links,
need
some
way
link
to get up there
suspension
at some
shit.
point.
Mhm.
Anything else?
Underneath the dad setup thing, I have helps Opus do whatever it is she wants to do, but that's handled.
Yep.
The last thing I have written down for the early years is Ro genuinely consults Avro on like dating a dragon questions in the early stages. So you're like, what if I say like, is there like a secret word I shouldn't say? What if I say something and it's wrong and I die? Is that a problem I should be looking out for, or
The biggest thing you do is you don't ask to ride on them, like they're a horse.
I wasn't planning on that. I'm gonna tell Daya that one.
I mean, there are no real words that are like not good to say. Don't be racist.
Don't be racist. What is happening? This is not the conversation I thought was gonna be happening here. I thought you were gonna be giving me wise, sage advice.
There's no real sage advice. They're just people. They're older.
I know, but it's we're gonna be seeing a lot of each other.
They like fancy gifts. They like fancy gifts, just like everybody else.
Me too. Anyway, me and you, we're gonna become friends because we're both gonna be alive for forever. Bye.
Okay.
Besties.
Besties.
Everyone in the group that Avro
Besties.
could have gotten stuck with, I think Ro is probably the one he wanted least.
Besties. It's good, and I think that's the
Basically it.
basics. Yeah.
All right. Jess.
Sorry, I still don't get good
Perfect.
internet back. But I still don't get good internet back here, so apologies. I've been cutting in and out this entire time. So the very first thing Mercy does is she gathers Belle, and she starts going to each merchant prince in the south of Patricia, and she starts essentially. Do you know how the Bill of Rights in England was signed?
No.
Essentially, a bunch of the people came forward and said,
I only
"Sign
know
this or-"
America history.
Essentially, they said, "Sign this or we start a revolution." And that's essentially what Mercy's doing to all the merchant princes as we are not letting our country fall into the same state it was. It is ridiculous that we had 2 world-ending scenarios happen in this country because you guys let us be so divided and you guys ran this country so fucking poorly. We're not doing that again.
And in all honesty, it almost certainly results in several bloody conflicts. Because there are merchant princes who either don't agree to the terms and don't really budge well, or there are ones who simply just don't want to give up their power. And it does end in several bloody conflicts, which, with the aid of Mercy and your compatriots that you wind up kind of getting to come with you, they're almost always not one-sided, but they're swift takedowns of the merchant princes. They do not last very long. Mostly because on some level, Belle starts actually giving tactical advice on what should be done, and the simplest answer for a lot of them is blitz attacks. So basically, almost immediately after they say, no, we're not doing this, the attack starts then. So it's not that you show up and say, sign this or we have a revolution. It's sign this or the attack starts now. Which does also change the way it works, because in those cases, some princes just start gearing up and armoring up immediately. Others come to you and say, hey, let's talk.
See, the unfortunate thing for them is because Mercy spent so long as a mercenary, unless they changed their house, she knows
where they live.
She knows where they live, and some of them she knows the house's layout.
Yes. Yeah, so this is very much a losing situation for a lot of the merchant princes, and a vast majority of them will be either overthrown or killed. There are a few that go along with it because they see reason pretty quickly, either reason through financial reasons, reason through simple cowardice, or in some cases, reason through simple goodness. They understand that, yes, there is logic here, this makes sense, we need to do this. But there is an unfortunate byproduct to all of this, is that you do wind up creating several states. Patricia is not collective. They are not together. They are divided. Not hostile divided, but they're still different countries in one continent, which is simultaneously good and bad in a way. It creates a presence of bureaucracy which Mercy would find obnoxious, which I feel like that's a pretty fair assessment, right?
Yeah, she would hate that so much.
But it does also mean that a lot of folks are less likely to start fights, because now everyone's trying to either negotiate or just tariff one another instead of actually starting a war.
I feel like while she's doing this, occasionally she will find a way to call Haru and go, could you tell me how to word this better?
So that's actually something very interesting, and this is actually a detail that you all should know about Haru. And also, a detail for Campaign 2. The crack in the sky never gets fixed. It can't be fixed. It is broken. It is permanent. It also means that communication between planes is actually more doable. You can theoretically cast sending to a different plane. The only ones where there seem to be either some kind of a repair or some change that's made are the planes that are associated with dead people. So you can't talk to a dead person by casting sending anymore. It seems like it worked for a little bit, but you can't do it anymore. So you're not able to cast, sending it to the boneyard and talk to your buddy Jimmy who just died.
I know a Jimmy.
Stop it. Jim's not dead.
Jimmy.
So yeah, dead mortals you can't really communicate with well. Outsiders or celestials, fiends, stuff like that, you can still reach out to them using sending.
And during the time when she's doing all this, I feel like she also, she can't do this directly yet. She does two important things. One, she sends a group of, essentially workers up north to begin to reform the city in the north. Because she is intending to make it something different, especially the underground portion. Because that is going to become the essentially old god shrine. Or at least the first one, which Mercy's mission after this point is she believes very strongly in second chances. The new gods are on their second chance. Our old gods haven't gotten that. So in order to ensure that they can have it, she's making sure that they aren't forgotten. Which means she does a lot of time doing a lot of research and worship.
Yeah.
And book collecting.
And I will say the interesting thing is that when it comes to worship, there really isn't a huge shift. There is definitely a new perspective towards the deities, as the new gods are physically here. But there's also a change in perspective from the new gods and the old gods. See, the old gods, worship was just that to them. It was worship. The new gods are kind of predatory in a way. There is something about them where they know they need something from mortals. In Marx's case, he needs exchanges to happen. You're aware of this now. But like, in others' cases, they need something else that's a little bit more bad, actually. Like straight up murder. There are gods that get what they want when a mortal dies. So there are some new gods that are effectively predators. They're hunting people, which is unfortunate, but it's a byproduct of them. But with that said, there are also other new gods that are just there. They are getting what they need just by mortals existing. So it's not a big deal. But they get what they need by you mortals existing. And, well, that does mean that there is a little bit of a prey-predator dynamic. With the old gods, it's just worship. It's simpler, cleaner. There's less worry about what they might need. So there is a bit of a change there, but the old gods are still worshipped. Yes.
Jace, when did you need to go again? Sorry. I don't...
6:30.
6:30? Okay.
There are people talking in the kitchen and my mic keeps picking up pieces of it, so I keep having to mute.
Got it.
At the same time, she's also going to send out a message, essentially going, "Hey, I have a really weird thing, and I don't know if it's possible, But if there are people who are capable of doing this, I need a moving fortress.
So that is effectively kind of a long-term project for Mercy. As Mercy kind of winds up needing a giant dune crawler, for lack of a better term. This just like giant shredded vehicle that slowly moves across the desert. And Hell's Moving Castle.
No, I want you to know, Jolly, literally the image I have in my brain.
So, yeah, and it ultimately becomes a massive artificing project, which actually does attract a lot of attention back to Patricia, because now you have a bunch of artificers trying to join up for this massive project, which all of them are all pretty excited about, to be honest. It's interesting. These guys who really like working with mechanics and magic and magitech and stuff like that, you give them this really big project that's extremely complicated, and they just get excited instead of annoyed. It's this odd similarity you see in a lot of artificers.
She's gonna put in a very important note. She's gonna go, oh, it needs a tree in the center that can stay alive.
That you probably would wind up turning to the Green Faith about.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. It would just be the easiest way of doing it. Probably an acacia.
But she will begin the process, and this is all happening in the background while she is making her campaign, because she is passing those duties off to other people. She is essentially starting the ball rolling and going, okay, you got that? Cool. I gotta finish freeing this country from horrible mercantilism.
You were delegating the work to other people who are best suited for the work.
I will say probably at this point, because Jolly, you did mention it, and that is going to come up. Joy and Melody are probably the two she turns to and hands off like, Joy, I love you. You're very stupid. Go help the builders in the north. Melody, please find me artificers. Or maybe the other way, because Melody is not a talker and Joy is. But he's so stupid.
So the interesting thing is that Joy is, you actually kind of hit the nail on the head. Joy is probably best suited for finding more people. Melody is best suited for not actually helping with the building, because while they are sturdy, they're not a laborer. They're actually probably a little better suited, more so in the practice of probably actually the war itself. More so in the act of scouting. And then, oh, that's a kitty. And then there is Narissa.
My best friend.
See, Narissa's in a very interesting circumstance for you, and you are aware of this. Because Narissa, well, she's got her family. She's very happy now. See, the issue is that Narissa is a murderer.
Yeah.
Narissa is the only thing Narissa knows how to do, and do really, really well, is kill people.
Send her to Dea.
So,
I don't think
in an odd twist of circumstance, Narissa would actually be best suited either in the war as an assassin or as a blue cloak.
I love that.
This is, you kind of come to this realization suddenly and jarringly, as you realize this person who cannot be anywhere else because they are not well, they are not necessarily liked, they're scary, they're dangerous. The only place you can put them is either in a fucking war or as an adventurer. That's it.
Put them with black milk.
Well, that's the thing.
Just put
because
him with
Mercy,
the band Black Sabbath.
there's another.
Look good.
Yeah. Oh god. Yeah. Mercy, there's another thing you're doing, isn't there? You're using that fortress to be the host for
the blue cloaks and Patricia.
There you go.
That is the entire purpose of that fortress, is because Mercy is still a Desnian, and she does not like being stationary. And I think she tries it for maybe a month while she's waiting for the fortress to be built, and goes, "This is the worst thing I've ever done in my entire life. How does anyone do this?"
So, you have Narissa here. Joy's off getting more artificers. It's working pretty well, to be honest. Melody is assisting in the war effort as a scout. Again, working out pretty well. Builders, you just leave builders to their job. Simple as that. But you got Narissa here. And what are you gonna do with her?
He's staying with Mercy.
She's staying with Mercy?
Yeah, Mercy made her.
Okay.
Mercy told her she was gonna have a family.
No, I know. But what are you doing with her? Is she gonna be a blue cloak, or are you gonna send her into war as an assassin?
Hana, which do you think she would enjoy more?
I mean,
You and I
she's
both know.
okay with either, really.
Well, the thing is, after the war is over, she will be an adventurer. While the war is happening, you know, having someone who can go in very quickly and quietly and just eat.
Yeah,
We
gotcha.
also invented therapy, so she'll be okay
She can get therapy.
afterwards.
She'll need it. She will definitely need it.
Yeah, no,
She's got
re-
that CPTSD, man.
I'm not gonna
Oh
lie.
no!
When
It's a
when
little
I
bit more than just PTSD.
No,
when I made her, I
ED,
described
it's
her
complex.
as a yandere personality type.
She effectively has like an antisocial personality disorder.
I need to tell you
Yeah.
that this relates to Narissa. So I'm gonna say it. Dea picks up the dream spell, and Narissa is one of the people she contacts frequently.
But yeah,
That's fine.
Narissa needs help, but you know that eventually she'll be okay. But will do very well as an adventurer. There's no denying that.
Especially since she has no real regard for her own life. In the long run.
Yes,
See,
like
they
most
will get along
adventurers.
so well.
And at the same time, she will also have Rose start working on something for her. Which is Mercy will delegate a lot of things. There are a lot of things in her life she does not mind handing off the responsibilities for. Keeping the old gods alive is not one. But she also knows in her current lifespan that she's already lost 5 years of. That will not happen. So she is going to petition Ro to start working on a way to make her live longer. And that will be her job after everything. She will continue to keep the old gods alive. And once they've come back, however long that may be, that is when she will let herself die.
I will say there's an interesting effect that you have by introducing this essentially mass shrine or place of worship to the north. It does become something of a holy land in a way. Not just because of the presence of all the shrines, but also because there is a noted effect to it. For whatever reason, the north of Patricia has historically had terrible droughts, terrible heat, a blisteringly cold environment. It simply is inhospitable. But the presence of this altar and the presence of what later becomes, and Barca will be renamed, we'll discuss that later, becomes, again, kind of a holy land to a lot of the old deities. There is also a noted change in the environment. Rainfall becomes more of a thing that is present to the north. Water is present. You have water now. That lake that was created by Gregor Rachain all those years ago doesn't go away. rainfall keeps it present. Streams begin to flow outward from that location, which can then be changed into rivers and aqueducts and what have you. And 30 years from now, that city to the north will be by all religious individuals recognized almost as a miracle.
Some stupid fucking tling didn't want to give up on her god.
Yes.
Well, I will mention, because this also pertains to this, sorry for cutting in, but after a few years, after Dea's like settled, she will offer to help Mercy. She's gonna be really busy, so it's not gonna really be much, but she will join Mercy's mission, essentially, and she'll petition Jim and Hongaron to assist as well. Because they are also will live forever, and they remember the old gods. They were there. They would be invaluable in this quest. And she knows it probably won't happen in her lifetime, and she's okay with that, but she likes Eris still.
Did that hurt?
A little bit. No. But no, she thinks, like, if the old gods are back, then, you know, maybe there would be less pain in the world as well.
Along with that, she will continue to regularly pester Jim. Whatever sort of friendship/relationship forms from that, so be it. Mainly, she likes annoying him. I imagine she keeps Belle around as long as Belle wants to stay. Especially post-war, it's going to be a lot harder to find him purpose.
Belle is an interesting individual, as Belle is a soldier through and through. They fight things. That's essentially their job. At a certain point, they would likely find themselves in a position acting as a general or what have you for some military for one of the many states in Patricia. So, wherever that puts him, who knows?
And the only other big thing I have planned cannot happen yet. Because we got a wedding to attend.
Yes, and I suppose we'll start with that now. Becca?
Yes.
What would you like to do?
We're gonna kick this off by doing the scene I wanted.
Yep.
And she's gonna go to the bakery.
Okay.
Dea.
It will have been a few months after the final battle with Salvador Lacroix. You would have been later on officially granted the position of the head of the Royal Blue Cloaks by Alvaro, who then stepped away to more of a background position. There are regular jokes about the boss's boss and talking to management and stuff like that, as you are the new boss, so they all have to make fun of you. But you head over to the Broadback Bakery. Maddie's not there right now. They're likely still back at the Lucky Sapphire. And you would find that inside of the bakery there is Amelie. She is present. And she'll kind of look up and you go, "Hey there. Finn's stepped out. He's gone to get some ingredients. I'm currently the only one at the bakery, so if you need something special, you're going to have to wait."
No, actually, I wanted to talk to you in private.
Okay.
So, I'm thinking of marrying your daughter. What?
What?
Anyway, well, that would, if if she says yes, if she agrees, then that would make you my mother-in-law, and I know we've threatened each other in the past.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want a mother-in-law who wants to kill me. So I thought
You very clearly have never been in a relationship other than this one, have you?
No. Yeah, no.
My job is to make sure you don't hurt my daughter. I don't hate you. I don't want to kill you. But I have to put the fear of God into you so that you don't hurt my daughter or think you can get away with doing it. There's no ill will here. That's what I'm supposed to do.
And I know, but I Whew, sorry, this is me. I wanted to clear the air first though. Just I want you to understand me better. So I'm gonna tell you something that I've never told anyone else. And I want you to promise me that you won't tell anyone else.
Okay.
So it's really hard to talk about myself. So I'm gonna take a leaf out of a friend's book and kind of step back for a little bit. But I want you to imagine for a moment a little girl. She's 5 years old. She has a twin brother. She has two parents, a mother and a father. And they're very poor, but they get by, you know. But sickness travels through their community fairly frequently because it's kind of a shitty place. And one day, her brother gets very, very sick. Like very sick. And she wants to help him, obviously. But she overhears her mother talking to her father about how they should just let him die. They didn't plan on twins, and it would just be easier. It would be one less mouth to feed. And of course, this little girl freaks out. And she goes to her father later, and she pleads with him. Pleads with him. We have to save him. And eventually, he does relent. And they go to the Green Faith, and they get some medicine. And eventually, he does get better. And years down the road, he wouldn't even remember this. Because it was just, he was, you know. Whew. But from then on, her mother never really forgave her. And she was very, very cold towards her. And this little girl now has the knowledge that her parents don't love her. And she doesn't tell anyone. She doesn't understand. She doesn't know how to say this. So she just keeps it to herself. And she thinks if she can, prove her worth, she can protect her brother, then she won't be discarded. So 5 years pass. She's 10 years old now-ish. Another really bad sickness sweeps through the neighborhood. And this time, her parents turn really ill. And they go to the Green Faith. And they try, but they die. obviously, this little girl, her brother was very upset. He loved their parents. They were very sweet to him. But the little girl is just kind of numb, and there's a little bit of relief. Because this nightmare, this secret that she's been carrying is finally over. But not even a month later, one of the members of the Green Faith contacts her and tells her that her mother didn't actually die. They thought she had died, but she woke up later and decided everyone was better off if she just left. And the Green Faith member wasn't supposed to tell her, but he wanted, there were these two young orphans, he wanted to help them. And now the little girl had a decision to make. And she decided to keep this a secret from her brother. And when you keep a secret like that, it just makes you feel trapped. Like you're in a jar and you're looking out. And you can't reach people. And well, now this little girl's 27 years old. And I was initially very mean to you because you were also gone.
Amelie just kind of pulls you in and gives you a hug.
But I know you're, and Daya's like hugging back. She's like, but I know you're trying. And that's the difference. And she just starts crying because I've just started to cry. And that's the big secret. So mom's still out there. But she finishes it off with, but your daughter makes me happy, and you and Finn are wonderful to her, and I would be honored to be a part of the family as well.
I don't think there are enough words to help you understand the situation that you found yourself in and the person your mother was. What she did to you and was ready to do to your brother was terrible. And it is okay for you to put some blame on me for what happened and for my non-existence in Maddie's life, because on a certain level it was my fault. I wasn't there when I should have been. I didn't stay when I should have stayed. I left and ran away to go and pursue something that took away years of my life. I will never get them back. But the difference is that I learned from my mistake. And your mother, she ran. She didn't even make a mistake. She shrugged off responsibility. There's no other word. What I did was foolish. What she did was just evil. But I can understand why you thought the way you did. I don't blame you for it. I even understand it. You're a good person, Dea. And I would gladly have you as part of my family.
Thank you. And that's pretty much it, I think, for that scene. Sorry. I really wanted to do a scene on that because I've been holding on to that since day one.
So, I will admit this freely to my players. I don't really know how to handle a wedding scene.
Maybe we can just start at the beginning and just describe what people are doing as we go
Yeah,
through. There doesn't have to be
I
scenes.
think that'll be just our best bet.
Yeah, maybe we all go into a little bit of storytelling.
Yeah, I think that's how we'll have to do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
I didn't change the music. This just kind of happened.
Oh yeah.
Who knows? All right, so
Kill your mom? No.
so Becca and Jolly, like, guys. So
What are you gonna do?
you guys gotta prep.
Yep.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing to prep?
Well, the invite list is huge. It's basically everyone we know who isn't evil.
Mm-hmm.
Finn's helping with the part of the food anyway. And
Oh,
there
yeah.
will be a spit roast, so Dea goes out and hunts that. What
Gail
else?
would want to help.
Yeah,
I'm just throwing that out there. Oh yeah. There is a Firbolg level of this of like gotta help with like the food.
Yeah.
If you find that you need more time, you tell Rudy.
No, because Dea asks Maddie to marry her on the anniversary of their first date, so that's in like winter. Yes, she is just like she doesn't say will you marry me? She says can I marry you? Which is the only thing I thought about, but it's very cute and I needed to say that. And then they get married the next spring, so they have a few months to like get this ready. It's on the beach. Anything else that we need to prep? Jolly?
What flavor is the wedding cake?
Yeah, I mean
Cyanide.
that's
So big.
the one that
Honor.
Maddie and Finn have
Delicious.
to work on.
It tastes like almonds. What?
Honor.
Why? The wedding cake is big. It's tiered. It's got gold and red decorations.
Mm-hmm. All right. So
Jolly.
big hunt,
Oh.
big cake.
Jolly, I was gonna say, Jolly, do you have anything you need to add in?
No, not necessarily. Other than the I don't know prepping. That's
Mhm.
about.
Do you need to talk to Bercy about officiating?
Well, what about Jim? Didn't you?
Jim, we recruit to be the flower girl, and he doesn't have a choice because we either blackmail him or barter with him, whichever works.
So you're okay. I need to get this. So Jim,
Yeah.
in his human form,
Yes. Yeah.
you're going to get. Is he going to be shirtless?
Yes. Well,
Okay.
he's not supposed. He's supposed to have a shirt,
But
but
nobody double checks it beforehand.
No,
it,
he just has like a
something
fancy.
happens to it. I
He
don't
has a
know.
fancy
right?
vest on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's the best.
It's like, oh, like, you gotta get out there, but we can't find your shirt. You just gotta go. Like,
It's some
There's
Chippendale
no time.
shit. That's
It's
what
no,
this
it's
is.
just a tuxedo with the sleeves ripped off.
No. Objectified Jim. Objectified
Yes.
Jim.
Can we please
Sure.
have it so that it's like, oh, we can't find the shirt. Mercy's stuffing it into the bag of holding before anyone can notice.
we
No.
can't find it. We don't know. We don't know where it went.
You just gotta go. Improv it out, buddy. You got this. All right. So Jim as the flower eye candy. We got Takma's
Ring
giving, or was it Takma?
Takma's gonna walk Dea down the
Dea
aisle.
down the aisle.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And the father,
Who's the ring bearer?
Toby.
Toby!
So you're giving a small dragon
Yes.
a ring,
Shiny things.
Well, he has
Yep.
a little basket with the rings in.
but you're still giving a small dragon a shiny
likes-
thing.
All he likes is candles, and Dea trained him.
It's fair.
No,
Alright.
he might hold on to it a little bit, but Dea's got like one of the like wedding cake candles. Like,
Can I give you an idea?
yes.
Before you guys put on the rings, you guys are holding candles, and you trade the candle for the ring.
Yes. Indiana Jones.
So, do you have bridesmaids?
Dea does ask Ro to be her maid of honor. How
It's
does
like
Ro
for
re-
sure, absolutely. But in like a way of like she turns completely away from Dea, back to Dea, and is like, yeah, yeah, sorry, yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Great. And then the rest of Fortune's Blade would probably be up there as well. Maddie.
I would have asked Gale to be best man.
You know what? I know of this tradition.
No.
I actually know of this one.
Uh-oh.
Gladly.
Sorry. I apologize if I look distracted. I just found a new function on my fan that I didn't know existed, and I
That's
was really confused.
Always good. Gladly. Don't worry.
Yeah.
No one will get close. They'll die real quick. Also, Eric's gonna help.
Oh, he knows the classic tradition of best man.
What's your tradition of best man?
That is actually a historical. What is historically the best man used to be.
Just like bridesmaids were dressed exactly like the bride, so that way, if it
It's
was
for
needed-
assassinations.
Yeah.
The best man was a bodyguard. The bridesmaids were
were
brides
stunt
who
doubles.
were stunt doubles.
Yeah. Yeah.
Seriously, that's honest to
Guy
God what
self.
it used to be.
And that is the only reference that Gale knows, and that's what he's going with. Anyone
what?
come
Fair.
close,
All very
Just-
well, no one gets close.
Gale's just smacking people down left and right, like, nuh-uh.
Oh my god. Oh god.
And Mercy would officiate. And we would. Oh, I think Maddie wanted to make sure she didn't goof off. Right.
Mercy.
I am completely and utterly offended as a woman of the cloth. And at this point, she does have wooden carvings of each of the god symbols hanging off her hip like on a string. So there's just literally, every time she walks, it is a jingle of wooden clanks.
It's a wind chime.
It's cute.
Full circle.
The most holy wind chime.
Oh no.
I do have one interesting
what
thing
you
to
get-
add, by
Yeah.
the way. So speaking of at the wedding, because this is probably the first time that everyone would be together in a little while, you would see Aerith, instead of being as feral as normal, carrying around a small child.
Oh my god, it's the biggest death I ever did.
There would be a small neon orange haired little Fearball baby girl.
Oh my god.
And Gale would introduce her as such. This is my little sunshine. This is my Maddie. Gale and Air's first child is a girl by the name of Maddie.
Oh my god.
Why did that instantly bring tears to my eyes?
And when Gale holds the child, he holds it by one leg.
Pretty much. And this child is absolutely strong enough to break people's fingers. So don't do the and yes, cannot. It was, since it's been more than 16 months. Yes, yes.
Yeah, the kid
Air
would've been born by
carried
now.
the child for 16 months. Yeah, that's welcome to Fearball life. It's awful. Everything's longer.
Oh god.
Yeah.
What
Trust
kind
me,
of
I did the
morning
math on
sickness
this.
Was that?
Huh?
What kind of morning sickness would that be like?
Oh,
It's coming from a druid. It's all well, no, because druids can control their entire body, so it wouldn't be that bad. She would have not dealt with any of that shit.
No, it would still.
She's-
I think for any other Fearball, it would have been fucking nightmarish.
Yeah.
I love the idea of it
That's why
being
people
that
like being
scene
druids.
Yeah.
yeah, Jill.
Parks and Rec, where Chris Traeger is sick and he looks in the mirror and says, "Stop."
Stop.
Being. Is that entirely?
Does
Gale
Gale
looking in the mirror going,
point-
"Stop being nauseous."
I have a feeling Gale says this at some point to the newborn. While changing a
Stop
diaper.
pooping.
Pooping.
Stop.
You know what? Like, what? You didn't even eat that much. Where is this all coming from? There's no sort of equivalency here. I'm very
There's-
confused.
I will also note that for the wedding, there's also a lot of old faces that you have not seen for quite some time that have been invited to the wedding. Namely, well, you've seen quite a few of them. Most of the Blue Cloaks have been invited. There's Sammy, who is actually more properly referred to as Senator Sammy.
Senator.
Yeah!
I wrote
As
that
they
down
are-
as governor.
As Rosenvale has effectively become an independent state from Sorsain and the rest of Odela,
Makes-
so
That makes
Rosenvale
me
is
happy.
a properly independent state. As
Have they looked into into changing their name possibly?
Rosenvale, it
Yeah.
is being discussed, but it's one of those things that is being discussed and voted on effectively.
Okay.
Bureaucracy
I think
is
we
gonna
keep
be
an
trouble.
eye on there.
Yeah, well, Rosenvale effectively has a democratic system, so it's all up to votes.
That's fair.
Up to the senators.
Yes. And then 30 years from now, Sammy will be stabbed to death like Caesar. Kidding.
Who else do we see?
So there is Hongaron, of course. Jim, of course.
Yo, he has to be there.
You would at least briefly hear them discussing, where she went, and ultimately they both don't really know where she is, but the name is never mentioned. I'd imagine Barrett would come, as would Rose's father. If they can manage to get here, Hope would be invited, as would Elle, the desert people that you guys bumped into. 30 years from now, I'll point out there's going to be a healthy trade of opium from Patricia.
You mean Faith, right?
You
Not
mean
Hope.
Faith, not Hope. Sorry, Faith.
I was like,
I
who
misspoke.
the fuck is Hope?
Because
was,
Hope and Faith Hope and Faith are such similar concepts. My brain mixed them up.
To be fair to Connor, I did name the mom Hope.
Hope is here.
Mercy's mom is here.
Bro, what the fuck? Sorry, she barely remembers.
Faith
her
and
at
Elle
this
would
point.
wind up showing up. You need to point this out. 30 years from now, there's going to be a healthy trade of opium from Patricia. That is because of Faith and Elle. They are growing drugs.
I love that for them personally.
Yeah. Belle would not arrive. he would send effectively a wedding gift. It's a trophy of a kill, not really an acceptable gift, but
He nudges Gale and goes, sometimes I can tell he's you.
it's
It's a good
It's like-
one, though.
it's like a hollowed out carapace of some centipede creature,
Yeah.
but like with the head bit still
At least-
present.
At least he left the head.
Yeah.
I'd have probably smashed it.
We're gonna have to talk about this when I get back.
Probably. Good luck.
Thanks.
God, who am I forgetting? I'm forgetting other people. I'm sure of it.
We invited Dond.
Dond definitely would have shown up. Dond doesn't have wedding clothes.
No.
No.
It's
He
kind of
lives
a
in the
wear what you
woods.
want
I
look.
need to point out he lives in the woods.
The
Uh,
Mercy, as he comes in, will prestidigitation the smell away.
Somehow his smell magically is magically resistant,
No.
and you don't understand how.
The crunch is still there.
Yeah, Minerva and Avro will of course arrive, and they do provide their best wishes.
Hmm.
They get seated with Ro and Demos.
Mhm. Same dinner table.
You actually, both of you would personally be given a gift, like in the hand by Avro and by Minerva. You are both given coins.
Vacation home.
Um,
I don't
They
know
are-
what they do.
they are not that kind of like ashy, sooty black that Avro carries. They are a different color. They are kind of almost like a hammered bronze in appearance.
Mhm.
But you are both given them, and they don't tell you what they do.
That's so odd.
I'm not gonna do it right now because I'm scared, but we're gonna do it. We're gonna try this after the wedding, right? You've seen him like the coin.
I know the coin. I don't know what it does. Well, it's not a normal coin, right? Okay, I just want to make sure that Truffles don't get confused by it.
What was that?
Truffles
For
doesn't get confused.
Because
The pig.
he eats coins.
Oh.
Yeah, you think it's-
Truffles is also invited.
Yes.
Yay!
No, for reference, Avro has a black coin that he can flip and teleport. You were given a coin like that.
Yeah, I'm assuming it will teleport us somewhere.
Hmm.
The thing I will
Um,
point out is you do have a wizard who can identify it for
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
That they teleport
if
you
they-
guys to each other.
Yeah, the
just-
wizard can identify it if they remember.
You don't have to worry about that all next campaign, Michelle.
Yeah, perfect.
Thank God!
No, I think 2 people in the group with identify next time.
It's not me! It's not me!
Oh, I know I'm
I
not
think it's
one of them.
technically 3.
I can
No.
get it, but I don't have it.
Oh no, 2.
No, I knew I was gonna be in a group with 2 other people who had it, so I didn't take it.
Fair enough.
I can. This is a little bit of a spoiler, but not really. I can identify magic items next campaign by touching them.
I mean,
So if I'm gonna be running up.
Okay.
Whoop, up, up.
Anyway,
To be fair, I didn't
Yes.
remember anything that I put on that character sheet because I haven't looked at it in like
One.
months anyway. I'm like, I
You
should
need to
look.
identify this.
No.
No.
oh my God. Anyway, guys,
Blood.
It
please.
only
it's
lick
blood.
things to identify.
Ugh.
I think it's getting
No.
Kosto and Jace gotta go, right?
Mhm.
Actually,
Mhm.
Jace.
Yeah.
Now is the time, right?
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Okay.
You
Okay.
can get going.
Okay.
Oh no. Jolly.
No, nothing.
Are we shutting out stream? What are we doing with stream? Or are you gonna come back and
Jess
stop?
can stop it. Jess can stop.
Run in and stop it.
Yeah.
We'll tell you how.
Okay.
It's-
you can
I'm-
go.
Literally, all you have to do is come in and
Just
click
press a
the
button.
stream.
Yeah, it's a
mouse.
button on OBS.
It's a button. You're
Yeah,
fine.
it's the one on the right. It's. I
Let-
even put the cursor on the button.
The
Anyway,
big red abort button.
I'll have fun.
God. God, one of the
I-
fucking cats is gonna walk up and push the mouse,
Oh
and the
god.
stream's
Looks
gonna
into
end.
the camera.
I think Jason's gonna close the door.
Wait,
probably.
it's just gonna be, the end of the stream is just gonna be us screaming, no! As a cat walks up to the screen, looks at it, and pushes something.
I will say that happens. We still have the audio, so we're
We
fine.
do.
But
Hang on,
Yeah.
I'm looking at the list right now.
the
Yeah.
aunties are gonna be there.
The aunties, the wallflowers, the 3 good siblings, well, good, of Mercy's.
I mean, the others are
Mirth
dead.
Dai was
So.
also invited, but he probably would have come with
That
Barrett.
reminds me.
Huh?
I need to ask this to Jess, I'll say. What do you do with the bones of your siblings and your father?
Connor, I'm so glad you asked.
Oh no.
God. Oh my god.
She is going to go through the process of getting a druid to slowly decay the flesh off of them and perfectly clean the bones off. And once that is done, because she knows, you know, there's something in us that shouldn't exist in the world, she is going to have them essentially preserved and hidden under the shrine that's in Paquisha.
Boy, that's a plot hook.
I know it is, Connor.
Boy, that's a plot hook.
I sure hope nothing bad happens. These
Sure
cursed
hope nothing
bones
bad
underneath that
happens.
religious shrine.
I want you to know, think about this real quick, because this is how I thought of it. Under the Holy Lands are the bones of the people who tried to end the world, who have a blood tied to the 5th horseman of the apocalypse.
I know it's metal as fuck.
It is!
I will also
That's
point
pretty
out,
metal.
tangentially related, this was discussed off stream, but canonically, Dea has a gem with one of Armir's eyes in it.
Yeah, you do.
Because I needed a component of a gem and like a gem with an undead eye in it, and Armir was
And Armir was
technically undead for a little bit.
That does also lead me to one other thing. Jace was told about this, and I think it just kind of got forgotten. The mask that Lacroix was wearing
Oh yeah.
did not fall off his body like a normal mask would. It had to be pulled off. And that mask is very much not a good thing. It is an artifact.
Yeah, real quick, Jace
Vault.
did tell me off stream that it is going in the vault.
Yeah, vaults. Throw it in there.
Is it? Wait, it's an artifact? It's an
Mhm.
artifact? Which one?
No, like
Like a
like-
different kind. Okay.
like artifact on the level of like Black Razor and stuff
Okay,
like
okay.
that.
Okay.
Damn.
So
What
like
did it do?
Yeah, like Black Razor.
That we
so-
all know about.
That we all know about.
I use
Mhm.
I use a proper Forgotten Realms term. Artifact, like a legendary item that is extremely dangerous.
Yeah. Like a holy avenger, but like a bad
so
one.
what it did was in the Lovecraft book I have, it was supposed to just straight up make someone into the avatar of the Yellow King.
That makes sense.
Sorry, the King in Yellow. In my
Killed him.
game, it's worse.
Oh my god.
What did it do?
It made him essentially into a mouthpiece for the King in Yellow.
Conduit.
So it.
Yeah, it became his conduit, and then was like a red flag. Like it became like, hey, I'm here.
So that's why it
Begin.
ended when he
Yep.
died.
Yep.
Okay.
Anyways, back to the wedding.
Back to the happy things.
Uh-oh.
And Lacroix bursts out of the cake.
No!
No.
Roast off.
Can I just say I have this in my mind. I have this image of like I know what like a current day maid of honor does, which is like keeps everything on track and like make sure there's no stress on the bride and all that good stuff. I imagine like right before the ceremony, Rose like checking flowers and making sure they're perfect, and it's like I
Rose
swear to
fucking
God, if this
bridezilla.
wilts, I'll kill you if this wilts. And like during the reception afterwards, she's like, "Are these cold? These are meant to be hot. Why aren't you doing your job?"
You know what? That's not the Rose.
And
thinking about it.
Rose
We're
just
gonna
like
do it.
Rose is
We're gonna do that
talking
shit.
mad shit to Finn.
Not Finn, never Finn.
Oh no,
Anyone
guys.
else?
Ro is the wedding asshole.
No.
No.
She's doing it for her.
No,
she
no.
never got to have her wedding. So
That's
she
not a
thinks
bad thing.
Maddie's is perfect.
That's what every wedding party needs. A lot of times it's the wedding like organizer. But every wedding needs an asshole. So if your mother-in-law comes in wearing a white dress,
Oh,
the wedding asshole.
Yeah. Ro will be the wedding asshole. Like, Jim, I swear to God, if you put a fucking shirt on, if you ruin this day for them, leave it off. Here's your flower petals. Get out there.
I will also point out Jim's cat, Charlie.
Yes.
No more fur on that cat.
What?
It is a skeleton now.
No!
It is a skeleton of a kitty.
It's a lich cat.
Lich cat.
Oh.
It's petting my lich.
How do you pet it? It's got no skin.
It's trying to go in the skull. Like,
You scratch the bones.
It's a lich cat. That's disturbing.
Look,
that's weird.
you gotta scratch that cat's bones.
Poor Charlie.
Charlie's perfectly content.
He's just a little guy.
He's a little guy.
Also, I'm gonna point out Jermaine is also present there.
Oh, Jimmy!
Jermaine, the porcelain cat that Hongaron has.
There's a table for cats.
Yes. And Toby's there too. He's part.
There's a familiar table.
Did you bring Captain?
Captain wouldn't be at the wedding.
Okay.
So Hongaron is safe from his
Snowball.
allergies.
Snowball is like on the edge of the perched at the edge of the table.
Yay! Snowball's.
No, I'll make Snowball. She would make Snowball cat form for the wedding. Just
Oh
like,
no! Well, Hongaron is gonna sneeze. All right.
Oh no, that's right. That's right. He'll say, you're right.
She'll make it into a sphinx.
Yeah, that's what she'll do. She'll make it into a sphinx.
Pearl is cat adjacent.
She's
There's
not gonna be limits on the pets to weddings.
I'm
but
just gonna
there's
point this
nothing-
out. When you turn Snowball into a Azela, a hairless cat, there's a moment where Snowball just slowly turns
Why, father?
and just looks at you.
Why, mother?
Temporary.
Why
It's
have you
temporary.
done this?
It's temporary. You'll be a bird soon enough again, okay? It's just easier for you to be a cat at the
It's
wedding.
so cold, mother.
And he's allergic to cats.
It's cold.
I gave him a sweater. It's a cat.
During the wedding, Erudite is stuffing a cat into a sweater.
I mean,
Over your head.
she's not doing anything.
It's not a sweater.
Little,
It's
little
a
white sweater.
tuxedo.
little white tux. Little white tux.
Scratching me. Stop. Put your arm through the hole.
Very familiar. He will
It's
do.
for
She
you.
will do. She will do what I want.
They'll do it. They don't have to like it.
No, I know. Mhm.
The other two people I will call out from the invite list, by the way, is obviously Sam and Shadi. We'll get them over here.
Mhm.
So they're the old gang. And then she also literally sent an invite to Aristel. Don't know how that's gonna work out, but she's like, "You're invite."
No. you just get a response back. No.
Nothing. No.
Your hand turns into a middle finger.
That's not very nice. I'm getting married. You like this shit. You're god of community.
You're still alive. It's just your hand is right on a piece of paper. You're still alive. That's my gift to the community.
Great. Thanks.
So mean.
I will say, when Sam and Shadi arrive, there is like an immediate reaction of shock when they see Taco. They're like, ah!
He's alive, surprise.
But, after the actual wedding itself, do we have that out, or are you just gonna go past it? I don't know how we do this stuff in D&D.
I think we can kind of continue with the energy we've had, where like, well, you know, Jim does
We'll describe it.
girl.
So in that case, Jim is the flower girl for the wedding.
This is revenge
Per
for the bakery.
recommendations, they are shirtless,
Mhm.
and have not been supplied any replacement shirts,
Nope.
and have
They're
just.
freezing.
It's spring.
It's spring. It's not that bad. It's
Okay.
still like they could cut diamonds with their nipples though.
Yes, I was waiting for the comment.
Oh my god.
I was wondering if the nipples would be mentioned.
Pepperoni nipples. Sorry.
Stop! Don't make us weird.
It's so sorry. It wasn't weird enough already.
Perfectly normal. We're objectifying Jim.
Yeah, completely normal.
Objectify.
It's allowed.
It's his gift to us.
Toby is the ring bearer for the wedding.
Yes.
After, of course, Finn brings his daughter to the altar, and Takma brings his daughter to the altar.
Daughter? She did tell him that she took his last name, basically, or Blackheart. She doesn't know her real last name. Doesn't matter anymore.
Toby is, as one would expect, the fastest ring bearer present, as there's no real slow speed to flying. You don't fly slowly. You fly.
No, I want him to walk on the ground, so he's doing a little like.
Well, he's also holding a basket. He doesn't have hands, so he's using his teeth, so he has to go. No. Toby just flies.
Just up to the front.
And with Mercy acting as the priest, Dea.
She's fully like as Mercy's. I don't know if you want to like ad lib a thing or not, but like as Mercy's going, Dea's, you know, they're doing the like marriage pose of like looking at each other. She's just like fully like crying. like she looks very happy, but like curtains.
I mean, yeah, she would also equally sob. I can't do it because I cried earlier.
And we all know that Jolly doesn't drink water.
I don't.
You're losing too much water. Stop
I
crying.
lose.
Put it back.
Drink the tears. Drink the tears.
I tried to, but they're so salty.
Oh, bro.
I'm kidding.
And on that day, Dea and Maddie would be wed on the 69th of spring.
No, because that would be Rose's birthday.
It's Rose's birthday. Ro would never allow that. I feel
Happy
like.
birthday, Ro!
He absolutely would.
Oh, really?
She'd be like, yeah.
Wouldn't
It's gonna be a really nice party afterward, and no one's gonna try to talk to me about it.
Actually fair.
That's true.
Kidding, it'd be the perfect time to have your birthday party if you hate birthdays. What's his birthday? Yeah, great wedding, huh?
The reception has
Great.
gotta be so big, though.
Oh, it's fucking huge.
Yeah.
Sorry, I have candy in my mouth.
It's the event of
I
the
will
year.
say the reception is where Mercy does just kind of slide over to one of the ants, whose name I still cannot say.
Valkyr.
Valkyr. She will slide over and go, "So, you ever fucked a priest before?"
A lot less subtle than I thought it was gonna be.
Mercy has not been subtle a day in her life. What did you expect from her?
As a matter of fact, no, I have not.
Would you like to?
Kind of holds her arm out.
Oh.
Oh my god!
Mercy will take the arm and go, "We don't tell Maddie because she will kill me."
And if this
Right.
were a movie scene, the camera would be on them, they would walk out of frame, and Ro would be there like, what?
Ro, actually, you would notice someone different at the reception. You would notice a tall, kind of muscular woman wearing a very nice dress, very nice jewelry, and you recognize her as the woman you purchased your jewelry from in the Gold District.
They weren't invited.
You guys did say open invitation, didn't you?
To the after party, it is an open invitation. Spain.
Hey, a quick question. Does Ro have her gun?
No!
At this point, yes.
Wedding.
Well, okay,
Well,
okay.
at the wedding.
Well,
Well.
do you have that at the
Well, huh?
That's what I was asking.
wedding? If
Rudy!
somebody was
I
there,
will
then
point-
me.
Rudy does have her magic, like, always on her because she always carries her spell book. And, like, the necklaces are focused now.
Did we ever find out that Lady Dimitrescu is bad?
I
Us.
think Maddie mentioned that.
I'm trying to think.
I feel like it was brought up once.
I feel like I don't want to like, cause outside of the game we've known,
Well, yeah.
but I want.
Ro can
You could always just
bet.
go with the subtle. Ro nudges and goes, "Do you know her?"
But my thing is, I feel like Ro would see just this big lady if she didn't realize.
You could just say she forgot, because it's like.
It was long
Yeah,
ago.
like,
Yeah.
You saved it twice since then.
More than I think, Ro would roll up and have like a conversation started, and then subtly drop you like, "Oh well, which bride are you here for? Are you just here to celebrate like the general vibe?"
I'm here for my niece.
Doesn't narrow it down.
Was like, Dea have? I don't think Dea's got it. And you're Maddie? Are you here for Matt?
Yes. Just thought I should pop by and pay my respects.
I'll be right back. Stay right there, and Ro's gonna run to wherever Dea and Maddie are and go, "Hey, I don't know how to put this delicately. Big bitch, 9 o'clock. Who?
What?
Your aunt? Your aunt? Do you have an aunt here?
That's the jeweler.
You mean, wait,
She's
which aunt are you
large.
talking about?
Eh.
Well, I mean, if you're talking about Amelie's sisters, that's a little bit rude,
Oh
though.
no! I know the aunties. I know the aunties. Who? This is
But
a
actually,
different
what's
one.
not Kiera, though? I haven't seen her.
We're just enjoying the festivities, but the big one, she's not a nice one. She's not. Well, I don't know if she's nice or not.
Big
that's
one?
personality.
Wait,
The-
what did she look like?
she's like a head taller than everyone here. That one, the big one with all the jewelry. Is she? I've never seen her before.
Oh no!
You're. Is this a? And Ro like reaches into like a slit in her skirt and is like, "Is this the time?" Like,
Hang on,
no.
hang on, no.
No.
Put it down.
No,
Put it
okay.
down.
I'm dying at my wedding.
I can. It won't be at. It's outside.
Guys, I
Figure
thought
out.
we stopped the violence already.
I mean, I can just stop time and.
No.
Remove her from the premises.
No, I also have the spell time stop. Like, I also have the spell time stop, so I can stop time for a shorter amount of time.
But Rose just kind of be like, you just want me to like, I can make her leave. Should we make her leave?
Dad, we have a problem. I'm assuming your sister's here right now.
Big.
Oh. Okay. Well, that is definitely Julianne.
Mm-hmm. I forgot that we open invited. I didn't expect people to, especially for them. Why are they here?
So, you know.
I don't know.
asked
I
who
would
she was here
assume.
for.
I would assume to pop by and say hello. Still family. I don't know.
Well, I know they're still family. That does not mean we consider them as family.
Do you want me to kill that guy for you?
Stop! No. Like
What?
I said, we're
No.
not. We're not using magic. We're not using threats here.
It's not magic and it's not a threat, it's a promise, but I understand where you're coming from.
We are not gonna use any violence in this wedding whatsoever. Although I do apologize if my anger does kind of go over in advance. That is something that I should tell you guys by, just in case.
Mercy walks in at this point and notices the group paddle and goes, "What's going on?"
You finished that fucking fast? What?
No.
This is the time has passed.
Her dress
I
is a
caught
little
it. You just
disheveled. Her
assume-
hair is.
Do you just assume this happens immediately after each other?
Yes.
No. I imagine there's some time between the two events.
I feel like Rudy at this point has also noticed this and is like wandered over and is very what is going on?
Group paddle, what's going on?
It's the big bitch.
What about her?
She's here.
Okay.
Oh.
Bad ants.
Oh. Do you want me to get rid of her?
Why are we using
Already
violence against it?
I wasn't gonna go
I
with
can-
violence.
I can
talk.
I can talk too, kind of. I've gotten better at it. Roll taught me how to be good at talking.
Clearly.
She
I didn't do a very good job, I don't think.
Maybe you need a few more
Listen,
lessons. You wanna try that one again?
I'm better with like diplomats and stuff. When I have to like negotiate school things, this is a little different.
Guys, there's an easy solution here. We rock, paper, scissors, and we see who deals with it.
What is
I mean, Wait. I think that should be up to Maddie personally. Maddie, what do you want to do?
I'll go talk to them. Please do not do anything rash.
Okay.
Do you want us to be vaguely threatening behind you?
No.
Already been
Like, at a
rash at this
distance?
wedding, so don't worry.
I want, if anything, I want you to control Gale from this. What is that?
Operation Distract Gale. Got it.
Couldn't be too hard. He's got a newborn.
It's true. Gale is sufficiently distracted just by the kid. he has a child. He's distracted.
No, I know that at least he's distracted by Maddie. That at least. So, anyway, I'll go deal with it. I'll be right back.
Good luck.
Just watching, making sure.
Guys, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, no, I know,
Um,
it's fine, it's fine.
Yeah. We'll be.
Oh, that's over under.
Yeah, you can read
Fireball,
lips,
I
right?
think. Yes, I can.
So you can see what's happening.
I
So do we think there's
fireball
gonna be
goes off.
fire or no? Can I get anything for fire? Yes,
Yeah.
fire?
Yeah,
Yeah, I guess fire.
at least one.
I don't think there's going to be fire, but I do think there's going to be a lot of angry yelling.
I would love to see a punch thrown.
Mm.
Rose has a paper and is writing down like wagers with no money. We're
Yeah.
not gambling at the wedding. We have class.
Yes.
We gamble after the wedding.
Yeah. When it's done.
Maddie,
Yes.
what's going to happen?
I'm gonna approach Juliet. That's what I'm gonna do.
Hello, dear. It's been a very long time since I last saw you.
She kind of just looks at her, like, "What do you want?"
I just wanted to say that congratulations. You look lovely and have pretty good choice in wedding rings, I would say. Didn't go with anything too gaudy, I see.
Uh-huh. You're not here to judge me, are you?
Call me a pragmatic individual, but far be it from me to pass judgment on someone of your stature.
Connor, I'm stupid. What did she mean?
Pragmatic means basically she's taking emotion out of it, being kind of logical, which means you're kind of more likely to be a bit of a dick. She can't really judge you because of who you are.
What does that mean? I don't even know who I
you saved the world.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Maddie, you're okay. I'm gonna break this
kill
down.
her.
You are getting married to the head of the Blue Clothes of this group. You are part of a famous adventuring group. You're financially extremely rich.
It's
You're
logical
also
for her to show up
extremely powerful. It's logical for her not just show up here, but also to not fucking judge you.
You are one of the most powerful people in the world. Like, straight up.
She literally has no, like, judging you would be a bit like a peasant judging the king.
No, that's fair. I don't know the definition.
That's fair. And I also, I can't say I read the dictionary. Cody did that. But I mean, like, I read a lot.
I know, but she doesn't really think of all that status as, the main pointer. She just wants to live a happy life,
I know.
So, anything
Julianne doesn't, but I know.
I know. It's only just you, right?
I couldn't convince my siblings to show up.
Oh no. Oh god, no. So what's the deal here? Do you
Just
want
looking-
something out of this?
No. Just paying my respects.
You're lucky I'm not using magic right now against you.
Oh, I know. I'm aware that I'm quite lucky.
I don't think we're gonna see any fighting.
Don't talk, just look vaguely threatening.
Off in the back,
I
like,
look vaguely threatening. It's just I have a veil.
yeah, it's pretty.
If you just
Yeah, just
look really
Daya
angry.
tucks the veil back and then looks intimidating.
Look, you guys were very mean to me when I was younger. Especially to my dad, okay? And I don't know if I consider you guys as family. I'm sorry, but if anything, the Fortune's Blade were more of a family to me than to you guys.
Yes, wipes a tear.
Sorry to hear that, but far be it from me to say anything.
God, I'm also stupid. I don't know what that means.
Can't really say anything against you, can she?
I mean, yeah, I
Essentially, this entire conversation is you're saying whatever you want to her, but she can't fucking say anything.
Yeah.
She can't talk back, dude.
Yes.
Like,
She's
you
like-
have
she's
decent enough
just gonna
insight.
take what
She
you
can't
dish.
talk back against you. She literally
is-
can't.
You can't.
Because Well, that's the thing. Like, you're an extremely powerful spellcaster. Socially, you're in a higher position than she is. Wealthy.
One sentence, you could
can.
ruin her entire life.
Yeah, you
Exactly.
could literally, yeah.
Hmm.
With no effort whatsoever on your part.
You could literally say her jewelry is tacky, and it would ruin her entire career.
Jesus Christ.
You could crash the stock market.
We already did that.
I will say, you guys are still open to come. But if my mother sees you, I'd let her do whatever she wants with you guys. Or her sisters, even.
Yes. Still, I wanted to at least pass along my will wishes.
Well, I'll appreciate it for now, as long as you guys don't do anything rash at my own wedding.
Again, they aren't. I'm the only one.
Okay. Oddly enough, can I roll insight on that?
Yes, you can.
Okay. I don't know. This will be like my last roll, I guess.
Last roll of the campaign.
Can you even roll from archived sheets?
I can't. Well, hang on. I
Just
still
roll a
have it.
d20 and add your modifier.
I think I still have access to my sheet.
Yeah, it's in. You should see an archive.
There it is.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
Nice.
She is telling the truth. The other ones did not come.
They had sense.
Whether it was simply out of a grudge or what have you, you don't know. But she's the only one that came here.
Okay. I'll let you in. At the very least. But I appreciate that you did come. So yeah, help yourself to anything you want.
I don't believe I'll be staying around too long. I'm not terribly welcome.
Yeah, I think
Karen sees all of us like this.
I'm going to at least pass along a few words to your father and go from there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my dad's over there, so if you want to go talk to him, that'd be great. So, yeah, I'm just gonna go over to my group and talk to my wife now.
My wife!
My
My wife!
My wife. You know, it's a lot less romantic when after you get married, you point to the woman that you're wearing rings with and go, "My wife."
My wife!
It's a lot
my
less
wife.
romantic. And Julian will go over to Finn. And it looks like some carefully chosen words are being exchanged, and she will wind up putting a much larger hand on his shoulder because again, Julian is bigger than you and Finn and is kind of at the same height as Amelie.
I know, how intimidating is that?
If she
But,
wasn't a bastard.
Bro be fucking her.
That's a big lady.
But you
Women.
see that Julian will just kind of put a hand on Finn's shoulder and kind of do like the faint squeeze thing that people do. And Finn will nod politely, and they'll kind of break away from one another.
Dad, what did she talk about to you?
Oh, she said I did a very good job.
Oh. Okay, that was that was not what I was expecting. So.
I don't
Well,
think I can.
Resheath their weapons.
I think I can really be okay with what she did, but it's nice to hear.
Yeah. Well, at least she's at least somewhat forgiving, other than the others, right?
Who knows? Kid, I think you got really lucky in your life, to be honest.
What? Lucky.
I don't think you ever got to meet how devious some people can be. For all I know, she could be doing this to get back in her good graces. I don't know.
If anything, Dad, you at least outlive your sibling.
They are still my siblings. I would prefer you not kill them.
I'm not gonna kill them.
I would prefer your friends and the groups they're associated with not kill my siblings.
I'm not gonna let them do that.
You didn't make any promises to them.
As you look over and we're all just making faces. I mean, actually, probably now we've probably relaxed, but we were all just
Oh, good news.
Faces.
I won't have to be the one to end stream.
Jace got back.
Jace just got back. I heard Jace.
Yeah, we've been futzing around for a bit.
Yeah, that's the problem with this mic, is it picks up everything. Again, people were talking in the kitchen and my mic was picking up ends of their words. Uh-oh.
Yes, Jill.
I think at some point Ro's gonna make the rounds and go to all the dads, and she's gonna be like, "Hey Finn, do you have any other friends that are dads? Any other dad friends?
Dad friends?
Yeah, like friends who are also fathers.
What do you mean?
Getting friends from
Unrelated. This is my dad. His name's Milo, and he's great. You guys want to be friends?
Oh!
He needs friends.
Oh, nice to meet you.
I'll be right back. Takma.
I was like, please, using the talk.
Dad friends. It's assembling the dad ventures.
Hard cut. They're all wearing cargo shorts and polo shirts and white Reebok sneakers.
You guys are grilling
watching
in front of them
Taka,
and they're
that is
arguing about
wrong.
proper grilling technique.
Oh,
Proper grilling technique is you flip every once in a while. Single flip argument is stupid. It is. They've tested this. All right, flipping food
Okay,
just
you're in
once
it,
is a
guys.
real thing people
Turns
talk
into
about.
a dash.
It's so dumb. No, I like to cook. Okay, that's the difference.
I can tell you, I don't know that Taco knows how to grill.
You can
No,
grill fish.
Ever
It's
touched
dad.
a stove in his life.
Also, Jace,
I
you
don't
missed a big aunt of
Julian.
Maddie, Julian, showing up at the
Sorry.
wedding.
Nice.
Yeah, to distract Gail.
We didn't have to distract Gail. Gail has a baby.
Yeah, I have to Gail to
Yeah.
say babies. Yeah.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I think you came in late as we were getting ready to close up.
That's fine.
Well,
Close it on up.
well, there are things that I.
There
this
are a
would
few
be-
things that didn't get touched.
Yeah.
I saved Dea and Maddie for last because I figured this is going to be a bigger scene. So, Maddie, after you get married, is there anything else that Maddie's going to wind up doing?
I mean, could we figure out what the coin?
Oh yeah, can we after the party closes down, we're like, all right, flip.
Flip.
Got it. You flip the coins, and you would find yourself at some island in the middle of nowhere.
Got you a
And then the coins fall to dust and you're gone. No, you find yourself in an island in the middle of nowhere, and there's a decent little house that's been built there.
in fact.
But you do see that there's also some runes that appear to be on it, of some sort.
Runes?
Runes, like magical inscriptions and stuff like that.
What is?
I mean, could we read it or?
Detect magic would reveal they're basically not evocation, abjuration, protective spells.
I don't think any of us has.
We
I
don't
think
have-
either of us
I don't-
have.
Right. Neither of you have that, but you don't know what they do. You have no clue.
Sorry.
Well, we could have
swatches
it.
them out and takes it back to Rudy.
It's a bomb.
What does this mean?
What does this mean, Rudy? What does this mean?
Yeah.
Desperately slapping paper.
What does it mean?
So, what would you like to do?
Wait, are you asking me still? God, is it what I think? Becca was?
It is a vacation home / home, basically.
Oh,
I'm assuming the runes are
okay.
just,
They
like,
gave you-
protection.
The runes are there basically to make sure that the building doesn't get damaged by weather, and prevents scrying, basically.
Ah.
You effectively have a personal home in the middle of nowhere.
Yay.
Oh. And we can go back whenever we want to.
Vacation
Yes.
home.
Downside, you can only bring one load of groceries in because you have to hold the coin has to be flipped in the other hand.
Yeah.
So you can only put groceries in one hand. And
They
then-
have to buy a bag of holding.
Oh no.
But yeah, that was the gift that Avro Minerva gave you.
Aw, that's so nice of them.
Get married just for the gifts.
I don't know, like, after the whole wedding, like, I'm assuming, is this the thing that we were planning on?
These are the final epilogue stuff.
Well, before we do that, I'm going to mention, because that will be the last thing we do. And I didn't mention this earlier, where Dea, after a few years, does open an orphanage in Tressane. And it's like, you know, there's homages to Aristos. There's like an elk skull over the door, and, you know, very much to her tastes. And like, probably secures government funding to help secure it long term. She doesn't run it herself, but she checks in regularly and vets every employee. And some of the orphans are not actually orphans, because it's like, kind of like also a prototypical child protection agency place. You know, just children are being.
Are we going to call it the Black Heart Orphanage?
It's the Black Heart Orphanage. It
Fucking
looks
metalist.
so-
Most
it
metal
looks
fucking
so
name ever.
Fucking evil, but the children there are so happy and cared for. And now we can talk about the other thing, which was, I think, 7 years after marriage.
Divorce.
No.
You should have let it hang
Jesus.
out there. I gave you a second.
I didn't want. I wanted to let Dolly
Sneak
do some of the
attack.
talking if she wanted to.
No pregnant pauses in this group.
No, you can't have this.
Well,
Oh
speaking
my
of pregnant,
Because that's how you get
pauses-
like the word a penis put into,
Mhm.
into the conversation, or like
Yup.
No, they have their first, kids.
awful, gross
They
kids.
do a divine intervention, and they have twins.
Oh, there was a funny thing I told Becca. It was like, Maddie talking to the source of wanting kids, but the source accidentally gave
Like-
her 2 kids instead of
She
1.
said plural. She said kids, right? Kids. Twins.
That's
There's a whole
actually,
department in the
in fairness to you. So the source is essentially a mindless ball of magic that is there to do things.
I know.
When you say kids, this is exactly what happens.
You should be happy
You
it's
say,
only 2.
like, you do the divine intervention and say, I want kids. Oops. You use the plural.
We learn the next time.
Babies.
But,
We learned the next time.
Also, since these are children that are being born of a divine intervention, they are quite literally Aasimar.
yeah, they're all awesomers.
There's no, like, they have elven traits on them. They're Aasimar. All of them are Aasimar. It doesn't matter. It's just like,
Yeah, they're born of the yeah. Yeah. So 7 years, the twins are born. Their names are Rosette and Charlotte. Food names, to continue that trend. And then 6 years after that, they get a son, and his name is Takma Jr.
cunt. Oh, sorry.
No, he names him after Takma. He's a grandpa now because he's gonna stay with them forever. Grandpa.
Grandpa.
And that is something that Takma will be very, very happy about. Are there any other end of campaign things that you guys want to do, or any questions you need to ask me?
That's it for Dana, I think. That's all the important things, other than some just fun little.
Oh god, let me go to the check on my doc real quick.
Unfortunately, I know there's some stuff with Gale. I can't really.
No.
No,
There's some
there
things
is.
you cannot talk about.
I would almost be willing to say a fair bit of
Yeah.
the stuff that we've talked about.
There-
I can't.
Yeah.
There are a
It's
few
gonna be on your
things that
continent.
Gale would not be willing. We can't really talk about with Gale. But I will say that about 20 years later, Gale starts to lose weight.
Yep.
Gale starts to lose muscle mass.
Oh.
Ooh. You lose barbarian?
Oh, no.
Nope. Has to have
Oh.
the stone removed.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh.
Yep.
Bummer.
Makes sense. He would at that point have it surgically removed, which honestly at this point doesn't affect him a shit ton.
No, doesn't make a huge difference. Your health is lower, but it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
It will, but
Still
also there's game mechanics wise, there's another level up, so he essentially gets it all back, so it's not really affecting stats wise.
Yeah.
But there would be a period of probably knowing Gale and just kind of ignoring shit. It would probably be about a year and a half for you to notice that, if you saw him, he would be losing a little bit of weight.
Like he's kind of starting to wither. It's like,
Yeah.
Like he's losing weight.
Yeah, get that removed. So now he's got a interesting probably scar on his chest. But hey, that lets him freeze him up for one attunement slot.
And two is left.
Hey.
Yay.
Oh,
Yes.
that reminds me. I just thought about this, like the artifact stuff. If Rudy could help them at all in any way, she would. With like the artifact, with like all of them.
That's
She
fair.
wouldn't like directly involve herself, but like she would help them in any way, just because they are kind of responsible for her having a decent upbringing in a way. So
And that's fair. Erudite, you would assist occasionally, provide information or what have you as best you could. There are murmurings of something going on with the aspects that were chosen this year. Not this year, but this
cycle.
generation, this cycle.
mhm.
And within the year of those rumors going around, a new cycle starts.
How long does that happen in?
It got till about the point where the kids were probably about 22 years old.
Huh.
Arcade?
No, like
Oh, the kids.
the kids.
Like, sorry,
So
like, it was
it
like-
would be, by the time the cycle restarted, it would be 1957. Look at that.
Out of curiosity, do
Okay.
we know exactly how many artifacts there are?
No, because I don't.
I'm just saying, is
Fair
it like
enough.
it's a significant number? I'm assuming
It's a significant number, but basically it means that
that all those people
they
died.
died.
Yeah.
Like all of them died.
Fuck.
22.
Yeah. Fuck.
Hmm.
What happened with Fear? Because Gale would know.
Fear was growing up to be a normal kid. By all means, Fear, or the individual who was bearing the aspect of Fear, he was a normal boy. He didn't show any sadistic tendencies. He understood the nature of what he was responsible for. And then at some point, he had a run-in with some lone spellcaster, and he was disintegrated. And unfortunately, that is a disturbing trend that was seen in a lot of them. Quite a few of them were disintegrated by some lone spellcaster.
Fuck.
Well, I know what
And-
the not the Cerulean, I know what the Blue Cloaks and Ekes are doing.
And bear in mind, these children at the age of 20, they're probably fully trained.
Mhm.
22, they're fully trained and experienced.
Jesus Christ.
Knowing that information, because that is one of the things that we can definitely talk about. Gale is trying to establish, again, quick movement of the Blue Cloaks to be able to respond to these sorts of things. You would all essentially get information, and Gale would be trying to put out feelers. However, Gale is not good at the espionage part of it, so he'd be trying to delegate that to other people who are good at it. Gale just does good at killing things, and that's what the...
And
Yeah.
you all would attempt to assist as best you can, but by the time it was done, you would find out what happened and where the murders were coming from, but it didn't matter by that point. It was
Too
all
late.
over. The cycle is done. So 30 years from now, they're 8, and the cycle is only starting.
And Gale would still do the same thing with Fear.
That's wild. So we have like a
Damn.
baby cycle, even though
Yep.
it's been 30 years.
You had one that lasted
22
2
years.
centuries.
Yeah.
That's it.
Damn.
Decade.
Starting in campaign 2, how old are the
8.
8.
8?
They are
They're
8.
babies.
Because these,
Oof.
during the cycle, they are all born at the same time, same day.
It's a sensation.
And I can tell you exactly what happened off stream.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
But with that,
I think we should.
campaign 1's
Yeah.
over. Unless I've missed anything and you guys want to add something on.
And just a little short thing, like as the years go on, Ro travels, just goes to different countries and does bard shit to get free rooms because she's cheap. Collects information. If she sees anything of note, she'll like give it to Dea, Gale, Mercy. If it appeals or like, has to do with that kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
basically
And,
just does tourist shit.
and Dea makes sure everyone visits home, the estate, at least once a year.
More so. Gale has... Hold on. Let me do the math there.
Or she will hunt you down if you miss a date.
I will point out, Rudy will have in the schools that allow magic. Rudy will have teleportation circles, and she'll have one put into the estate.
By the point of 30 years, Gale has 13 children.
Oh my
Jesus
god!
Christ,
Oh my
God.
god! Stop!
There are 13...
For a fucking condom!
there are 13 of them.
Oh my god!
Tell
have to
Gale to quit fucking.
That,
Stop!
God. Gale couldn't pull out of a fucking driveway.
nope.
Cheaper by the baker's dozen.
Yep.
Damn.
There are 13 of them.
How many? Hold on. How many pregnancies? Like, are there twins or are these 13
There are
individual pregnancies?
13 you could not fit
me.
2 Fairbolgs into one Fairbolg body. Those children. Okay, Also, for reference, when you see Maddie, baby Maddie, for the first time, baby Maddie is as big as Ro, and baby Maddie's only like a couple months old. Furball babies
That means-
are massive.
Hold on. That means, because you said a furball pregnancy is 16 months, right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That means in that 30-year period, Aerith is pregnant for 17 of them.
Yeah.
That's so much.
Yeah.
Is
That's
she
a
good?
lot. Is she
Oh,
okay?
yeah.
Is she good?
She's gonna die.
Again,
You're not
she's
supposed to
not
have pregnancies
her.
back to back.
She's not affected by, again, druids.
Sheesh, druid, total control.
Yeah, total control.
Oh my god.
Time to
Stop
get more
fucking
insurance.
Remember? We invented therapy, so like
Birth control.
Get rid.
Birth control has existed for years. They're just not using it.
I think
Oh
at a
my
certain point, the rest of Fortune's Blade goes, "Stop it!"
I can't babysit all of these.
I don't understand.
Ah!
I don't understand what the problem is.
Every time Gale shows up to the estate, it's just more kids.
Another one.
Another
Mhm.
baby.
See, every time Gale has a kid, Mercy's reminded why she's not gonna have any.
it's like this
I
one's-
really adopted. She's like, I don't want kids of my own. I'll find a
Damn, Maddie,
child.
are like, we had 3. 3 is a good number. We had 3.
Yep.
I'm happy with this.
Mhm.
You said 3 teens?
Oh.
3 teen? 13. I misheard that.
Mhm. Meteor.
But meteor. Herder. So, is there anything else that needs to be added on to you guys?
No.
No.
I don't think so. Not that stream needs to know.
So, with that, we're going to be ending the stream. That's the end of campaign 1, guys. It was fun.
We'll
I enjoyed this shit.
We'll do at least one shot.
At least one. There
At
are
least
4
one.
possibilities you need to bear in mind.
Oh yeah.
Um,
And more information will definitely be coming out in campaign 2 as we continue to actually fill out the world.
yes, indeed.
Exciting.
Yeah, well,
So
we'll
stay
let you
tuned.
know when that's starting to. If you follow our Twitter, we will be releasing the silhouettes of the new characters ahead of time, so that's when you know it's really happening.
Yes, we will be doing that. And once we get to a week out of campaign 2, I will officially be tipping my hand and I will be explaining what's going to happen in the first session, so you guys can expect what's going to be happening, not just for my players who are slowly starting to go insane, but also so I can get you guys all nice and excited for what's going to happen. So, thank you everybody for being here for the stream. Thank you to the lurkers. Thanks to the folks in chat. If you enjoy what we do, pass the word around, tell your friends. We stream fairly regularly, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. If you like us, tell your friends. We have a Twitter, Dicefunctional _. We have a Discord. You can join up. And if you, gosh, we're gonna have a break on the D&D streams because I have a lot of work to do. And I also want to take at least 1 week to not. But thank you everybody. Thanks to my dear friends here. Sorry Cody couldn't be here. He's got some life he has to deal with. But everybody, say bye stream.
Bye.
Bye.